Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Heather stream, the Heather Friday stream this week, where she's giving us a lot. This week she gave us almost 2 hours of stuff. It was like an hour and 45 minutes, which is why the video took longer to render than usual. And then also, to flip it, because I gotta render it like sideways and I gotta flip it this way. And then that took like 13 minutes, so I'm like 18 minutes late. Because normally I would have been like 5 minutes late. I don't know, not too much, but I am here now. I hope you guys are having a great evening. I hope you guys have had a great week leading up to this, and yeah, we'll get right into the Heather news. After I say hello to everyone, Megan, my love, I hope you're doing well. Angie, oh hey, glad I checked because it's earlier. Yes, it is. It's 8 because we got like 2 hours of stuff to get through tonight. Mamma mia. Renee, Susan, no worries. I know I gifted you a membership this month, but if I did, you're welcome. My flock, love my life. Gretchen, I got myself in here, and Nicole with my favorite avatar, also Kelly. Hope you're doing well. Angie, Miranda, looking for the stream on my TV. Some guy named has a pre-show going on saying that I'm a violent criminal. The hate rate is strong tonight. Oh yeah, no, he is kind of old news. He's been trying to take me out for a while, but he can never succeed because I'm not a violent criminal. It's funny because he puts in like the description of every video. He's like, go report Steve to the police, but then his video is like, I can't really report him to the police because he hasn't done anything. TMS, and we got Megan Christensen. How you doing? Kara, Veronica, and Diva. Also Amanda, how you doing? So yeah, this week we got a lot of stuff to get through, so I'm just gonna jump into it. These is her Instagram posts or Instagram stories, also any live streams in chronological order from the week. And then I have her YouTube shorts, which isn't that much stuff that we'll get through. She also posted this weird fucking video from, I swear it was like this past year when she was still in the tent with Xavier, but it's hard to tell unless she's back in the tent again. I can't imagine she is. Where she basically wants a cop to die and stuff. Some pretty crazy stuff. I don't know why she thought it'd be a good idea to put on her YouTube channel now, especially with all the court stuff going on, but we'll play that because that was like, I think the most recent thing. I actually didn't look at anything past, I want to say about 3 p.m. today, so I might miss some stuff like leading right up to the end of this week, but we'll get it next week if we miss anything. So yeah, I don't know. There's a few live streams. I'm optimistic and hopeful that this will be, I think she's revving up to be an outdoor cat again. You can't say for sure. There's also cicadas. She hates cicadas. She's in like a bee outfit, I call it, their bee uniform, to protect herself from the cicadas because she doesn't know what a fucking cicada is apparently, and that like, yeah, they come around every 7 years. They're something.
So for anyone who has not been here since the very, very beginning, which is about 2017, the original Coco Chanel YSL account.
Thank you, my flock.
I created in 2017. And that was my first account, Heather Gillespie, the personal training account that I just rebranded. I was doing marketing for myself as a personal trainer. And when I kind of switched my marketing into content sales, I just used the same account. That account was disabled in 2018 or 19. And then I needed to create a whole new account, which is the one Heather GEE. If you guys have been here since those two accounts, send me a bunch of hearts on this post. If you have been following since the Coco Chanel and One Heather GEE, the days of the reality TV show, please send.
What's with the reality TV show? I've been watching the reality TV show Love After Lockup, like every episode, and she was in it more than I thought she was. She is something else. Why is she covering her face here with this yellow brick thing? I just noticed it.
Send some love on this post. Good morning, guys.
So this is the first live. This is the first live of the week, which is hella early. And in her nightgown, business attire. Well, this is the wrong one. Hope it's not.
Guys, happy first of the month. It's the first of the
No.
month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. So I was just having a conversation with someone who has the luxury, when they speak about luxury of not knowing, privilege of not understanding. This is what they mean. If you don't have the emotional weight and burden
Morning. Good morning. This is evening for me.
hanging on your shoulders of understanding what it
Right.
means to be excited for the first of the month, you have to, that's privilege, and you have to be very grateful to have it.
First of the month is like when all the welfare and stuff comes out, and that's why. If you don't know what that means, I guess you're privileged. I'll let you guys know. All you privileged folk who didn't know what that meant. Now you know.
Traditionally, and this is not the way it is anymore, and I myself do not get welfare. Welfare is very difficult to
Not that I know of. I'm on like Twitter and Instagram though. If you need to send me some info or something like that.
get nowadays in 2024. Welfare is supposed to be for anyone who is poor. But the truth of the matter is, you cannot get welfare, which is referred to now as TANF, TANF, Emergency Cash Assistance. You cannot get that in this country unless you are pregnant or have minor children in your permanent custody. And there's a lifetime limit of up to 5 years that you can accept it, and it's only about $400 to $600 a month.
So is that what she's on? She could just go on like normal. I don't know what the welfare system's like in America, but I'm sure there's like some kind of assistance for people who are too crazy to get a job or have like a rough criminal past, or maybe they'll find a job for you, and Heather doesn't want to do that, and that's why she doesn't qualify for it. I don't know, but like she's like, they're gonna take the kid income away. Like she doesn't even have custody of her other kids. I have no idea how she's claiming that. Up until now, she was
on average. That you receive, which is not, any way of life, to be honest. It accepting that amount of welfare is like saying, I can survive. Anything under that amount annually,
I mean, that's better than not surviving, right?
You're not living. You require more than just using the restroom, eating, and sleeping to be truly living. The freedom that comes with financial.
It's getting crazy. My hair is getting fucking insane. I have to cut it. Maybe it's past the point. I don't know. I gotta do something with it.
Stability is really the only true definition of freedom. You don't have any freedom. You're not living. You're alive, but you're not living if you don't at the very least have, $500, $1,000 a month.
No, if it was a couple days ago, I probably did then. But there was like, I gifted like 5 right before the stream. So that's why I was like, I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know what's going on.
Month per person in your family. And even that, you're living very slowly. Let's say that. But if you receive, traditionally, Bone Thugs and Harmony made that song first of the month. Several other artists from, who are culturally inept or in tune with the culture.
There's no government assistance in the U.S. for not being able to find work due to having a criminal record. I don't know that. I think it's like this in Canada. If you just like can't find a job, even if you don't have a criminal record, I think you can get like, it's like nothing, but though it's enough to like rent a room out basically and barely survive. So it'll motivate you to, get an actual job and not be homeless, because that's what the alternative, I guess, would be, is be homeless and then work your fucking ass off living out of a car or someone else's car, like Ricky from the Trailer Park Boys, until you can get on your feet and get your own place. So I just thought like America would have similar thing for like or like food stamps and stuff, right? But I think she already gets food stamps. Yeah, I don't know how the America thing works. It might be different from state to state too.
Culture. Understand that on the first of the month, everyone used to get their checks, whether they were disability, whether they were welfare, whatever. So everyone would be like, and all of your bills are due, your rent is due, et cetera, and so forth. So people would be super excited about the first of the month.
Heather plays like a good sane person sometimes, but no, she's she's crazy. If you haven't seen Love After Lockup, I think it's season 3. I don't know. It's different. It says different seasons depending on where you look. But the thing that I was watching on was season 3. I think it was the first half of season 3 she was on it, and she was like crazy even back then, and then she's just gotten crazier. Like in the tent days, if you watch like some of the streams from I want to say back October, November. She was pregnant in the tent. She refused to like go into the shelter or anything because like Xavier couldn't come with her. But Xavier's like an anchor weight himself, a ball and chain. I don't know why she like stays around him and shit.
For that reason. And I was just talking to someone who, myself personally, I've been affected by this. My family has been affected by this. And this is why it's such an important topic for me. I started off in 2019 reporting a bunch of issues, systemic issues. And by systemic, when I use the term for context in this conversation, when I use the term systemic, I'm referring to the local authority, their authorities. So that would.
I wish I could put the comments like up here. There's so much dead space up here. And even if I zoom in, this is the player that doesn't like when I zoom in. That's just unfortunate. I love zooming in and stuff. I just hate all this stuff up here. And then when I put a comment, we're like missing half of her. I mean, like that's too bad, but like she needs to fix her stuff. Maybe I could put her upside down. She'd be hanging upside down like Spider-Man. Would you guys like this? I'll do a poll for it.
That would be like the state level authorities, state's attorneys, judges, court system. And then above that, it would be, I really don't even know who it would be, but I began in 2019 being victimized in ways I had never been victimized before. I was stabbed. Never had I ever even been in a fist fight, so that was new. My apartment was intentionally flooded on a number of occasions, at least 2 that we know of on purpose. My house was broken into and vandalized. My vehicle was destroyed while being parked in a gated community. It was scratched and defaced. And I would call law enforcement for help, which is your authority right above, civilians, is law enforcement. And I would call law enforcement and I would say to them, I need to file a report. And I would go to the station and I would file a report. Or if I was the victim in the case, they would show up and say, and.
What were you filing reports when you weren't the victim, Heather? When were you filing reports where you were like the aggressor or the perpetrator? I just turned myself in. I broke the law, guys. Okay. I did it again. All right. You got me. But when I was the victim, they came up with, what are you talking about?
And they'd fill out the report at the scene of the crime or whatever had occurred. And
crime?
That was it.
Why we
the ball was kind of just dropped, so I never received any resolution. Well, I kept on calling and calling and
got to flood the apartment for the insurance money, to get the drugs, to be able to go on the show, to act fucking crazy, to break up with Dylan within 2 days. And then, make everything crazy with her family, who were nice enough to take her in during this crazy time and crash her. Well, I know she crashed it. She wrecked her Cadillac CTS after that.
And calling and calling and calling. I would say no less than several hundred times each year, beginning in 2019, that these things were occurring.
Spaghetti.
And I would get nowhere. It would be like, well, someone will call you back. Well, Detective so-and-so was, it was Detective Rojas from Lombard Police that was assigned. Never heard anything back from that person. It was Detective James Cleese that was assigned from Chicago. Never heard anything back from that person after the first few months we were working together. And then one day, I just kept sending email updates under the impression that he would check them eventually, and he would be able to put it all together eventually. Well, come to find out, one day about 3-4 months ago, I received a return email that says, your mail cannot be delivered. This mailbox is overflowing and full. Who has email here? Everyone? How likely?
My email sucks now, ever since the Gala sisters got mad at me. And they're like, you know what? We're going to have to sign Steve up for a bunch of shit in the U.S. where I don't live. I don't know, to make me look crazy or something, to make me feel. I don't even know. It's just spam. It's a bunch of spam. But yeah, I have an email. Well, I don't know what she's gonna say. She could be like, "Do you get hate mail?" Or I don't know. Actually, let's see where she goes.
Is it that an email box can be full?
Yeah, because the server, there's like data takes up storage on servers, and that's not free. So I think Gmail's the only one that's like unlimited, because like if you read the terms and conditions, I think they're like, we can read all your emails and then like sell it off to companies for advertising, targeted advertising, or to like the government if they need to like search your shit or something. So there's nothing's free, right? So like I don't know what the fuck this is about, Heather. Like, why are you angry about this? Are you gonna start a server? Start your own server, run a server, and then like you can fill that up, and then you'll be like, it's what? Why do I need to delete emails?
I have numerous email boxes. Some of them in the six-digit number of incoming mails, or at least 5. I know my original Yahoo account. Who had Yahoo? Everyone remember Yahoo?
No, you can't see their hands.
Back in the 90s or the 80s, I mean the early 2000s, I
don't think the internet was ever. Yahoo definitely wasn't around in the 80s.
Created a Yahoo. Not the 80s, not the 90s. I shouldn't age myself that much. I had my first email account in 2000.
We'll look it up. It might be that like late 90s. I know Google was like 1999, I think.
But that was my first email address, a Yahoo account, H. Gillespie.
And before Google, I think the only search engine was like Lycos and Yahoo. Actually, I'm curious now.
H. Gillespie 87 at yahoo.com. That was my very first email account that I still have to this day. But I'm into the 50,000, 60,000, even 100,000, I believe, emails in that account.
So it's 1995, I think. That's a logo. Where did I see 1995? It was in the search thing. In January 1994, Jerry Yang and David Philo engineered blah 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 blah. But yeah, Yahoo Inc. 1995 to 2017, and then 2017 to present. So like mid 1990s. I'm nitpicking. I'm being nitpicky. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm looking at. Hold on. Here. There. That's what it's. That's what I'm looking at. That's what you guys can see now too. Okay. Let me get back to Heather. I need a better way to organize this. Things are a little faster in life, right? A little bit since I got the new equipment.
And no one ever receives that delivery demon mail not delivered that it sends sometimes. No.
The delivery demon mail not. It's a demon that tells you your mail's not delivered, like the postmaster, return to sender, when you email it to like an email that doesn't exist. I'm surprised you guys would watch Heather Upside Down like Spider-Man. I might do that then, just so we can have more space.
No one. I've never received one of those when I'm forwarding myself something to that email address from another one of my email addresses. So to think that a government server.
Oh, Damon? She meant Damon? Oh, it's because she's doing like the. I didn't even know it was Damon. She said demon though, right? Or am I just going crazy?
Like one that a Chicago police officer or detective would come back with a notice that says, undeliverable, this mailbox is full. That is crazy, right? That doesn't even seem like that's out of my scope of knowledge, and because it doesn't seem real, because I know what email looks like. I have several email addresses, as do most people, and it's just pretty much common knowledge for my demographic that you as an officer especially would not reach that full notice. Not very easy.
I've never heard of this mail demon thing. Mail demon, like when I send an email and it doesn't go anywhere, it just says like Postmaster General, you can't send this. I've never seen a demon or daemon. The only time I've heard of daemons have been in like Cyberpunk. But I guess it's a real life thing. I don't know. I'm not a hacker, guys. I'm sorry.
Very easily anyways. So it leads you to make another inference, which is either A, there's something very corrupt going on with the police inbox and servers, or B, someone is intentionally marking those emails as undeliverable. Or C, the Chicago police are drowning in communications and interactions, and they just can't keep up.
I want to send an email. Let's send an email to one that doesn't exist. I want to see this message.
So there are several options that my mind, uses, but given that I have these contacts in all of these jurisdictions and areas, and that I've been consistently reaching out to them since about 2019 with very little resolution, almost zero resolution to any of the things that I've reported, it brings your mind to another space. So you logically start trying to make sense of what is going on. And when you can't make sense of what's going on because every logical possible explanation doesn't work, you start thinking of other explanations that at very first glance would not even seem appropriate, would not even seem plausible or very likely. But once you've eliminated all of the likely causes, you have to start thinking of unlikely causes, right? Oh, pardon me. Excuse me. I have a terrible sinus infection. But anyways, so I guess my main point in this conversation.
Guys, it does say demon. Here, hold on. I'll do this before I go over here this time. Look, okay, hold on. Look at this. So I said, hey, Willie, love the boat to... Where does it say? Yeah, to... and then it says mail delivery subsystem, mailer demon or daemon at googlemail.com. Address not found. Your message wasn't delivered because the domain cannot be found. So who gets that? We got that if you just type gibberish. We're learning. I'm learning at least. I don't know if I'm learning anything useful, but I'm learning, guys.
Conversation is to discuss that my eyes began opening to these issues and situations that mostly affect people living in poverty. And I've stood by this for the longest time. Do I believe that a white person living in poverty, a Black person living in poverty, and a Hispanic person living in poverty are treated the same way? It depends. Do I believe that their treatment is based on race?
Why is she so glitchy?
No, I do not. I believe their treatment is based on a number of other factors, and race is really not even high on the list for my demographic. I believe that people are going to be judged for their appearance physically. Are they clean? Is their hair kept, neatly? Do they have an odor? Do they smell good or bad?
Rocky Ramirez, how you doing?
Their communication skills? Are they able to articulate and communicate appropriately? I believe that people are judged in those ways a lot more than they're judged by race. But I am also aware of, and this is what when we discuss in AI neurological networks, this is exactly what we're talking about. When AI is trying.
I always wonder who we is. Her and Heather, her and the voices in her head, just we, like the general people working on AI or whatever that she's talking about at the time.
To create a neurological network. It doesn't need to just take in the information
he does.
Judgment based on one specific perception, odor or aroma, race, age.
It always goes back to odor and aroma with her. She doesn't like smelly people. That's the gist I'm getting.
It's to take in all of these various perceptions. And let me give a few examples. Race, level of education, social economics, background and upbringing of generational background and upbringing, geographic.
Thanks, Kim. I'm wondering that too. What happened to her getting kicked out on the first? Why is she still in here? Yipping and yapping about all of this nonsense. That has nothing to do with anything. It's just a bunch of wiggity woo.
Traffic location, climate, influences, access to technology, access to education, experience, And these are just to name a few off the very top of my head. This list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on, because what happens then, after you answer those first perceptions to create these neurological networks, you then come to another round of questioning that applies to each of those answers. So when you're creating the neurological network for all of those, and then you're even, furthermore, bringing it to the next level of understanding, which would be like, okay, well, if the person, and these are called, this is something that they discuss in computer programming, Python, intro to Python. Oh, conditional. So conditional statements. So
I mean, if the hotel is bankrupt, I mean, this might be why she's even there, is because the hotel might be going bankrupt. I know that when James was staying in his homeless hotel is because the city of California bought up, I think, 10 hotels that were going out of business specifically to house homeless during like natural disasters. So when there was like the hurricane earthquake, James seized that opportunity to pretend to be like a veteran that lost his house in a fire, whose name's Steven, and then they let him in. And then Conger called him up and was like, "That's actually James Soroka. Go look at this video and look at him." And then they got mad, but they let him stay there anyways, and he got himself kicked out. It's a whole thing, but I imagine it's something like that. Like Chicago probably like bought up, was like, "We'll bail you out. We'll give you what we deem the market worth of this hotel, so we can give it to homeless people, maybe." Which, if that's the case, I don't know when she's gonna fucking leave. If she's following the rules, then I don't know. I have no idea.
So now you're programming with conditional statements. So you're saying, well, if race is interpreted as this, can you, what's the next interpretation with regards to, if the person is this race, were they born here in the country, right? Maybe that's an example of one logical, next set of neural network questions. Yes, they were. No, they weren't. You're still going to answer, in most of these situations, all of the questions that you'd want to answer, regardless of whether they were born here or elsewhere: age, gender, etc., and so forth. But you now have to apply them to each of those possibilities. And so these neural networks become so extensive, they're virtually untrackable to a human mind. I mean, there's no way I can even sit.
Is untrackable the right word she's trying to do here? And what is she trying to explain even? She's just trying to explain how a machine would learn what about a person. Just they have to calculate all these traits to determine what. Like, what are we getting at here, Heather? What are you talking about?
I mean, I'm sure there's a way I could sit down and create one, but we're asking AI, and AI is computing these to scale, to scale. And with that understanding, I sit here today, as I do each day, completely baffled as to how.
Heather should write a book called AI Jesus. Who is he? I would buy that book.
We still have people living in poverty. If we are that advanced scientifically that we can create these neural networks and run automations in AI and program self-driving vehicles, and in our minds, let's bypass the conversation of glasses, of lenses that people can wear that will interact with faces around them, biometrics, self-driving vehicles, automated whatever. But with our minds, with our own neurological networks.
Should watch like a Neuralink video. Like Elon Musk is trying to put chips in people's heads so they can, like, I don't know, use their phones. But he says that it could actually like help. I don't know. I don't know what those things are. Neurons like reconnect or something to help people like walk again, like rehab. It could help with rehab and stuff. I don't know. I know. I'll put it this way. I know he blew up a lot of fucking rockets, like making his little space program. So I wouldn't trust him putting chips in my brain. I wouldn't be the first one to do it. I'll tell you that. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. But he's like, we could drill like 10 holes in your head and put chips in there, and then you could control your phone without having to use your hands. And I'm like, I'm good. I'll see how it goes, but I'm good.
Foreshadow or, be able to predict these types of connections. Why can't we solve poverty? And the answer is we can. So why haven't we done it? And I don't think that suffering is part of the human condition. And if there are people here who do think that suffering is necessary to the human condition or to success or to the experience, then why not put those people in a group and allow them to suffer? Why not separate them out from the rest of us and allow
Those people are probably like inventing a lot of shit that you use or like maintaining it. I don't know. I think it'd be fine. But I don't know, sure.
them to suffer, because usually the people who say that suffering is a requirement of the human condition or of success, they've mostly never suffered that much, or they
It might be, I don't know who's saying this exactly, but like hard work, discipline is probably what she's misinterpreting as suffering. Like I gotta suffer to get to the top. You have to work hard, and yeah, you have to have self-discipline. Some two things that Heather is like incapable of.
Or they mostly don't know what this suffering looks like. They've mostly never gotten it from the mud, so to speak. So
and they usually don't pity themselves. They'll usually like take that and use it as like a fuel to their drive, the wind in their sails, you could say.
I don't believe that suffering is part of the human condition, and I don't think that it should be permitted anymore.
Suffering should not be permitted. Imagine if crime was outlawed.
Now, I'm going to give a very personal and specific example. And I'm going to do this because I have faith in AI. I have faith in AI. I have faith not only in AI, but I also have faith in virtual policing, in policy, in humanity, in ethics. I have faith in all of these things. So I am going to be forthcoming.
This is like fucking beauty pageant Heather again.
And use my situation. I come from a family background where my mother, just to give you a small portion of and a little perception, my mother has been working hard her whole life. My mother, when I was a little girl, had a full-time job in a corporate capacity. And then on Sundays, she would work the lunch brunch at a busy restaurant. And my father also worked full-time. And my family, with those three incomes, was just barely able to live a middle-class lifestyle. My sister and I there were just two of us in the beginning. There are now three of us. So I have a half brother. My mother had a child with a man who is not my father after that relationship ended. He is.
What does this have to do with AI? Like, who asked about any of this?
My half brother. I just refer to him as my brother. And then I have my sister. And my family has never been, wealthy to the point of not having to worry about next month's bills this month. We've never been in a position financially where we've been able to say, oh, this year is good. We're good this year. Everything's taken care of this year. We could kind of breathe. We've kind of been like this our whole lives with regards to money. And we've worked really hard, all of us. So I really don't have any lazy members of my family that I know of. Anyway.
Except you, right? Like you, who sits around the tent, sits around the fucking hotel, sits around Aunt Diane's house. Just she likes sitting around places. Jesus, jumping. What the hell was the point of all that story? That her family isn't lazy. So AI, neural networks, we're all over the place.
Anyways. But I was speaking with, now understand this, my mother got promoted and she got an upper level executive job with a semi-famous brand. I'm not going to say which one.
Is it the gym that the lady yelled at you at? Because like, Heather, you got kicked out of here. You're not allowed to come back. You're like, my mom worked there. If she gave us like nothing this week, I could have shown you guys that. What we're gonna go over. We could watch Battering Ram though or something.
And facilities brand. So I'm not gonna elaborate on that, but she got this chief executive operating officer or chief president, vice president, some sort of, that kind of seniority in her position. And my stepfather, who was a former stockbroker, or he worked for the Stock Exchange of Chicago, the Board of Trade, he was able to begin trading from home at a setup at the house. And my sister and I were out of the house already, or my sister.
She accused the gym of making her work like a slave. She was a member there, right? Or is this when she claimed that she got the job there and she talked to the owner and the owner like didn't question like why she was looking through stuff or whatever in the back room, and then once they found out she was going through like I don't know, credit card information and stuff, and they were questioning them like why they weren't shredding it, that's when she got in trouble. But I never heard like they her claim that they made her work like a slave. That's kind of crazy.
Sister was still there, but I was gone. And he was able to dedicate his adult life to being a father to my little brother. And he always worked little odd jobs and things and did his trading on the side, but he spent 90% of his awake hours raising my brother. And my mother, who was a full-time employee, she also raised my brother, put a lot of effort into him. My stepfather was always, I mean, just right there with him. You know, he was doing every sport that they make. My stepfather was the coach with him, you know, so it wasn't just like they were those parents in the stand. They were the parents on the field and in the stand, you know, for my brother.
Yeah,
that wasn't the way it
good.
was with me when I was a little girl. I got very, very limited access to my mother and my father as well. I was pretty much by myself from age 14 all the way until now. So, which is another conversation. But imagine this: my brother, he was able to have a father who was hands-on with him, who was able to pick him up and drop him off at school every day, who was able to participate in sports with him, who was able to be in the home when he was home. And then he also had my mother, who would get off work and go home. They would take vacations together regularly, and he had a very supportive home life, almost like that of an only child, but with the luxury of having two older siblings out of the house who he, you know, could. I really don't know what benefit my sister has brought to my brother, but I know that having.
She's pissed that she doesn't get to stay home. You're crazy. Because you're crazy, Heather. And Xavier, you got an Xavier with you. I'm sure like your family would probably be more supportive of you if you weren't like living in a tent with a drug addict who I don't know how you can look worse off of once you get off drugs. Xavier looked 1,000 times better like 3 months ago. I don't know what the hell happened. Like him getting clean was like the worst thing for him somehow, at least looks wise. Like maybe he's a better person, hopefully. But he looks like fucking shit now. He went from like Italian grandma to like I have to show you guys the thing that I was looking at earlier today. I was like, he looks like he's wearing someone else's skin on his face. It's crazy. I'm like, he looks gray. He almost looks like an alien.
Having siblings, from personal experience, it does feel better than feeling like an only child. And he had the only child part of it without being an only child, you know? So he was raised kind of like an only child, and he has his struggles too. We all do. But for the purpose of this conversation and perception, understand this. He had my stepfather's attention, and he had my mother's attention and energy and investment of those two things. Now, my daughter, okay, so I was out of the house at 14, 15 years old. And I graduated high school early, 17 and a half years old. And I still had a relationship with my family. Every holiday we were together, birthdays we were together. I had my own place at 17 years old.
They did switch Xavier again. He went like because a couple weeks ago I was like, he looks like a warm, nice Italian mother, you know. But now he looks like a scary ghost person, reptile lizard thing. I get what Heather means now. It's actually kind of crazy that I understand exactly what she means with Heather or Xavier being switched out or being a shapeshifter.
Graduated high school at 17 years old, started college.
Oh, that might be. Why did he do that? Why did he shave off his eyebrows?
College immediately. As a matter of fact, I believe I was taking college credit courses in high school through Naperville, possibly. But I never stopped working and working hard, you know, my entire life. Had my first job at 15 or 14 years old with a work permit because I was so young that I could not work without one. And so you consider the fact that my brother, not by chance, not by surprise, was able to get into college. And I'm very, very proud of him. My brother has put in a tremendous amount of work. My daughter is always in my care with her brother and sister. And now I have
No, she's not. Where's your daughter right now, Heather? What are you talking about?
a fourth child, but my daughter's life looks like this. The paradigm is this. She was with me. Okay. And I was separated from her father. She was with me, her brother, and her sister in our home. I was a single income parent, and I was not earning what my mother was earning as a corporate, leader. I was earning most of.
Do they say why they shaved his eyebrows off, or do they showcase it? I just was looking at him he was behind her or something, and I was like, what the heck? And I zoomed in, and I was like, I just couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, this is worse.
The time a little above minimum wage, and I was a medical administrator at Northwestern Hospital, as well as several private physicians' offices.
Oh,
Alexian Brothers in Northern Illinois. I worked for Dr. Parag Doshi, Dr. Smith, Dr. Aronson, Dr. Carly Scammer, Dr. Linda Maletti, Dr. Susan.
Dr. Jones, remember that song? Dr. Jones, calling Dr. Jones. That was from the 90s.
Burke, Dr. Walter Stoller, and many, many other doctors. Okay, Dr. Najum, Dr. Lewis, eye doctors doing optical sales. But I was a single income household most of that time. And I never collected child support because my belief system was the kids are with me 4 or 5 days a week. They're with you 3 or 4 days a week. You buy the clothes they need at your house. You buy the food they need at your house. You take them to do activities while they're with you, and I'll do the same while they're with me. That was close enough to 50% as it gets, in my opinion. We'll split school supplies. We'll split, all of those things. So my children got me and my attention, whatever I could give, after I got off of work from giving a company 11 to 14 hours of my time and energy in exchange for approximately $19 to $20 an hour.
Welcome to America. I mean, I know the cost of living is crazy these days. And I think people do need to work a lot to maintain a comfortable lifestyle, but also there's a lot of people that just live outside of their means. And I think Heather is one of those people, especially with the drugs she uses and the shit she wants to buy. So I don't know, she had such a good job. I don't know if she's getting child support, or if she was getting child support at the time, or if it was 50-50 custody, then there probably wasn't any. But I don't think there would have been any reason then. Unless she is making all of this up, because Heather is a liar. So that could very well be the case.
Which in early 2006 and 5 and 4 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10 was substantial. It was about double the minimum wage in those years. Now, can you imagine what type of energy and attention I would be, the quality of the energy and attention that I would be able to provide to my children when I would get home from work at the end of the day? Not the same probably as my stepfather was able to give my brother when he would go pick up my brother from school and take him to sports or do things of this nature. Also different than my mom.
What job did your stepfather have? I'm just curious. If he had all this time, what did he do? I got an eyelash in my eye. Whoops, I'm pressing wrong buttons now.
Mother would be able to give to my brother when she would get out of a 12-day work day, or 12-hour work day, or 14-hour work day, or just get home from a 5-day business trip, right?
I can't.
So being that my brother had the privilege of having 2 parents in the household who were able to give him varying degrees of time, attention, and effort each day, and my daughter and my children were only able to get a smaller percentage of my time, energy, effort, and attention based on whatever I could give after my day of work, it is no surprise that when one of my children, specifically math has been proven to be a problem, is struggling with this topic, with this
all the damn boy privilege, goddamn
course, and considering colleges and things of that nature, that's not even in the immediate forefront of our conversation. What college do you want to apply to? We're thinking, how are we going to get through math? this semester. And
meth or math? How are we gonna budget the meth for the rest of this month? All right, guys. Or what do you mean?
And my children are exposed to problems.
We can't afford Adderall. We need meth.
Like legal struggles, poverty struggles, i.e., shutoffs on electric, the threat of having, our security system in our home shut off, shutoffs with cable, shutoffs with phone bills, shutoffs with water.
I like that.
Shutoffs with, and
that's really good, Mathematics.
Granted, I was one of those parents who, while my children lived with me full time, 90% of the time I didn't have those issues. They were threats because it was very possible that they could happen at any time, and they did happen once or twice at least. But 90% of the time I was, grateful enough to be able to keep all of those things on. Understand that I'm using my situation, my family, and my loved ones to paint a vivid picture of America for those of you who have the privilege of not understanding. We are not the only.
I don't know, Kim. We have the privilege of not understanding what the fuck Heather's. I mean, like, I'm glad that I have such a privilege that I can go to bed at night and be like, I don't know what she was talking about. I don't really care. But Xavier and Heather, this just is going on in their head all the time. Can you imagine being Heather? She needs some kind of help. I hope she's getting like a counselor or something in this place. I hope that's like a requirement.
Only ones, and I'm at the top of a long descending demographic of people living in poverty who have become so accustomed to not knowing if their electric will be paid the next month, don't even consider it a source of anxiety or a point of anxiety anymore. I never got there, luckily. For me, it was a source of anxiety, and my bills remain a source of anxiety every month. But there are people who are living in such poverty that not paying their bill doesn't even bother them anymore. It's not that it doesn't bother them, it's that their bodies, as a naturally evolving body, and their minds that naturally evolved to protect ourselves, have gotten to the point where they can't freak out about it anymore.
Although there's just no point of worrying about things that, like, worrying doesn't solve anything. Also, like, things are what they are, It is what it is, YouTubes, right? Sometimes, like, I don't know, you can come up with an idea and get shit done. Sometimes you can't, and sometimes you got to make arrangements or whatever. But like, it's a defense mechanism. All right. It's from the primitive age where, we didn't even have bills and shit. So our bodies are just like, I don't care. I'm going to do fentanyl in a tent instead.
Because the negative and traumatic, everlasting effects of that stress, their bodies create natural coping mechanisms to just not care. And it appears to you or I outwardly, without the information that I'm presenting, that they don't care and that they're careless. But that's not at all the truth. The truth is, of course, they want to have their electric on. Of course, they want to be living with necessities that you and I take for granted each day. Of course.
She just wants to be relatable, all right? She has pretend bills, She's just cosplaying as a normal person who pays their bills and shit. Like,
they want to be able to choose their own meals and cook for themselves. Of course, they want to get in their car rather than board the bus. Of course.
A horse, of course.
But for someone who's never known that struggle, for someone whose body, mind, and soul is not evolved to the point where they are protected from those anxieties because it's become expected to not have, there's a lot of judgment from the people who haven't developed that form of protection. So there is no surprise.
I think Xavier's dad or Xavier's family would pay for the phone bill. I mean, like, they always end up doing it in the end. I don't know what Heather, like, think about it, right? Because, like, if they don't have contact with Xavier, like, they need to have some kind of contact with the guy, right? I'd imagine. Unless I've given up on him, but it doesn't seem like that to me. At least it doesn't seem like that. So Heather, like, I don't know what she's doing with this money from her sponsors. If, let's say, Xavier's dad does end up paying the phone bill, You think she's like going to be like, all right, guys, thank you for giving me the $50 or $100. I'm saving it for next month now. Or do you think she like went to Mariana's and spent on dumb shit?
Is about the struggles that a child who only has a small amount of energy, time. I'm not going to say love, because my children have always gotten all of my love. There's no doubt in their minds that I love them. But as a child of a father and mother who could not financially provide to me, and I'll get more into that as well, because of their other obligations and, you know, where their money was going, I know how it feels. The correlation between not having finance from your parents when you need it and knowing they love you, they overlap, whether we want them to or not. So in my calm mind, I know my parents love me, and I know that if they could, they would. But knowing that they can't, and so they don't, it does affect us, you know. And I'm not so naive to think that my perspective is unique. I know for a fact that my children, of course, have gotten frustrated if they've needed money from me and I've not been able to give it to them. In their calm,
like the prom tickets,
rational mind, do they know mom loves them? Yeah. But then that stems a whole million other questions as to why us, you know, why couldn't we be born to a parent with money? Or why does my mom have to go through this? And it's not one way in perspective. It's not poor me, poor me. It's poor my mom. It's poor my family. It's poor me, poor my mom, poor my family. And then once you evolve past that mindset, it's we're fine. We're fine. And then you harden. And this is the natural progression of living in poverty, living in lack. And so I continue to pose, you know, the perspective that when we're sitting around blaming, and I believe that it is a tremendous amount of the middle class. Rich people, I'm pretty sure, don't live in privilege. Rich people know the struggles that poor people face. I believe that they do, because a lot of them, you know, have lived there.
Did she just say rich people don't live in privilege? Hold on, I might have to put that back.
But pretty sure the perspective that when we're sitting around blaming, and I believe that it is a tremendous amount of the middle class. Rich people, I'm pretty sure, don't live in privilege.
Who's living in privilege? The poor people? Who are the people living in privilege then, Heather?
Rich people know the struggles that poor people face. I believe that they do, because a lot of them, you know, have lived that. But the middle class is...
The middle class is privileged?
In a tremendous amount of ignorant bliss. And the trade-off for that is that they work really hard, and their realities of financial success, they're very different than the realities of the other two classes, those living in poverty and those who are wealthy. There's a tremendous amount of responsibility that's shouldered on the middle class that they don't even know they carry, and some that they do know they carry. And at the end of the day, all of these neural networks and all of these augmented realities and tools that we have, they're only as effective as we allow them to be. If we're not putting forth effort into solving the right problems, then the right problems cannot be solved. So when I say things like universal income, or at the very least, universal basic income, my idea for resolving all the problems of the world is that we have no...
All the problems of the world, that's a hefty undertaking.
Limits on ATM withdrawals, and they all come from...
That is something crazy. She wants people to be able to just go up to an ATM and take out whatever cash they need. So she's basically like, you're taking away the necessity for there to even be cash. Like, if you can just take out as much cash as you want from an ATM and it doesn't matter, why do we need it? Can you just go to a store and like pick up anything and just walk out with it? Like, what do they do? It'd be like, oh no, hey, you're stealing that. It's like, you go to the fucking ATM and just pull out whatever money this costs. Like, I'm not taking extra steps here for no reason when this is the world Heather has designed.
One bank. one bank. All of the money is housed in one central facility, and it's digital. It's not dollar paper money. And when you need money for something, you go to the ATM and you request that amount of money, and that money is given to you instantly. And you go and make your purchase for whatever it is you need. And when we train people to live this way, they will not hoard. They will not purchase in excess, because they will understand that whatever it is they need, they can attain. By forcing people to live in poverty where they can't get what they need, they cannot reach their needs, we're not making the best use, in my opinion, as someone who has lived in this extreme poverty. We're not making the best use of these advancements and technological knowledge that we have. No one, in my opinion, should have to live in poverty. No one's children should have to suffer.
I agree, but how are we going to get there, Heather? These ideas or solutions you're coming up with aren't very feasible.
No one. So I think it's really a worthwhile discussion to take away control from these kids who think that they're doing, I'm going to refer to it, for lack of better wording, as clinical research.
It almost reminds me of like a half-baked Zeitgeist. Remember that Zeitgeist movie that was popular back in, like, I don't know, it's like 2010, 2012, maybe, I can't remember. But they're basically, it's like a fancy communist socialist video. Yeah, she made Marxist. I don't fucking know. I don't know exactly what kind of, I don't even know what to describe that government thing they're going for, but they're basically like, just give the bank all your money back. Just like, we're just gonna get rid of money completely, and then everything will be fine, and we'll all just like help each other out, But I don't know. It doesn't work. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. But it's almost like that. It's almost like that, but just very like I said, half-baked, and coming from Heather, so it doesn't make any fucking sense.
If your clinical research is being conducted in a way that is harming your subject, that is more harmful and destructive to your subject than it is anything else, then you need to find another way. We stopped and we protested, and we did all of this with regards to testing on animals, and with regards to ethical and cruelty-free things for makeup production and things of that nature. So if we can put forth such an effort in not allowing makeup to be tested on animals, then I believe we need to, at the very least, put forth the same amount of effort and attention into prevention of testing on human subjects. And
there's actually, like, Tether, you can make money this way. Why isn't Xavier like a test subject for anything and everything? Like, that guy is not in the top health anyways. I'm sure he wouldn't care taking any fucking drugs, but like, yeah, you sign waivers, like that's all voluntary. No one's forcing people to be testing anything on themselves.
clinical studies should be completed in a way that does not interfere.
Like, a human can consent, an animal can't consent. An animal can't understand what the fuck you're asking it to do. Or like, I'd be like, we're doing an experiment and we're gonna put this shit on you, and they're just gonna be like, they don't know English. You know what I'm saying?
With outcome. When we're talking about clinical studies being conducted that change the path of a person's entire life, that is not a natural outcome. That is not a clinical study. That is a manipulation of reality.
Yeah, they could donate plasma as well. I had a friend who donated plasma. Apparently they pay like pretty good for that. I don't think I would do that. But like, there's lots of ways they could make some money ethically make money.
Now, I also understand that if you zoom out your lens a little bit more and you're a believer of the butterfly effect, or everything that's supposed to happen happens, or there are no coincidences, philosophies like that.
I think that proved the butterfly effect. Technically, every action has a reaction. Like, if you do things, it's going to cause like a chain reaction, depending on what it is. Ryan, thank you for the $5 super chat. A second Heather poll. While I am still suffering in silence over the trouble last night, I hope you're doing. Birthday month, Gemini. I'm enjoying it. Yes, birthday month is great. It's also Pride month. I don't swim that way, but I'll share my birthday with them. It's great, good times, great times. No, June is like my favorite month, so I'm having a great time. Lexi, thank you for the $5 super sticker. If you donate plasma, you have to drink lots of water and no drug abuse. Okay, so then like I guess that would not work out for them then. That because I was gonna say too, I was like, he could even donate his sperm, but no, they want healthy people for that as well, because I don't think anyone would be like flipping through a book of donors and find a Italian mother Xavier with no eyebrows anymore. Did we make him shave off? I just like clicked in my head because I said his eyebrows kind of made him look like an Italian mother. I hope like he didn't shave off his eyebrows because of that. Oh no, I don't think they even know who I am, but like maybe that was the reason, guys. Anyways, I don't think anyone would be flipping through a sperm book or whatever you call it and be like, that man, I want that man. And then they'd be like, well, just so you know, he's addicted to fentanyl, tobacco, weed. He's like dying of like some unknown disease. It's called the Xavier disease, you know, shit like that.
That are much broader and more philosophical than they are, physics centered. That you might think, well, it was supposed to happen that way. The clinical interference was leading them to their intended, outcome. But with all of this, in mind, and all of this being said, we live in 2024. We carry one or more electronic devices with us at all times.
At least she knows what a year it is.
Most of us. It should be all of us, or have access to.
Obama phones. I'm not too up to date on the Obama phones, but from my understanding, it's like a government will give you a phone specifically for that reason. Heather, where she was selling phones at this phone machine thing as well. She had like 5 of them. Like, Heather, you got phones, hon. I don't know what she's complaining about. VC Pony, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Let me see what this is. I know the other one was like a muscles, and this one is a superhero. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
No one should be living in an oppressed state. There's no one. This is not a matter of opinion. This is a matter of fact. We have the ability to give every single person enough without running out. So what is the problem? And then it leads your mind to, okay, if we're talking about having enough for all, but we're doing things to not allow all to have enough, who and why is doing that? And when there is no direct communication, or there is no one person, I have all these questions and I can't pick up the phone and say, I know exactly who to call for this. Boop, 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 boop. Yes, I'd like to know why the American people are not receiving universal basic income. You ponder.
Is there any country that gives their citizens universal basic income? Is there anything that we can like see if it's feasible, if it works? Like, I don't even think it works on paper, but has it been tested in practice? Has anyone done this yet?
And most certainly that pondering grows incredibly intense and incredibly deep when you're seeing people who you know and love being affected by the lack of action. I do believe that that's the reason why it's been able to go on for so long, because the world traditionally, prior to these advancements in communication and technology, have been so separated. Segregation was not just a thing off, based on race. It was very much a thing based off of socioeconomic class. You wouldn't see a person who was worth a couple billion at the same grocery store that you would see, a poor person begging outside for change.
But it was like races though too. Like there was segregation based off race. It wasn't class, right? Like you wouldn't have seen a wealthy black man shopping with a bunch of wealthy white people, is what I think Heather's trying to get at. Like, it wasn't about race, guys. It was just separating the classes. But like, no. And also, like, of course, like some stores are just going to be out of people's price range. So I don't even know why like people would even go to some stores, even if you were rich, like, because you get like the same shit elsewhere. I'm trying to think of another example. Apple's probably, I use that bunch of Apple products, so like that's probably a bad example. But you know, just like Whole Foods. Whole Foods. You could grow that shit in your fucking backyard and they sell it for like triple of what a normal grocery store would cost.
There's intentional segregation of those classes. And there still is now more than ever. But communication and technology has given us a platform to reach the unreachable, to be heard by those who traditionally would be protected from hearing from us. So how do I reach who I need to reach so that I can say, hey, here are my skills.
Thank you, Kim. So as of 2024, no country hasn't implemented a full universal basic income system, but 2 countries, Mongolia and Iran, have had partial universal basic income in the past. I'm surprised that it was those 2 countries, Mongolia and Iran, as a partial UBI. Like, what? Hold on, guys. I just gotta switch some things around because my headphones. I gotta flippity flopping them out of here. Give me 1 second. Boop, 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 boop. Universal income. And here we come. What a wacky little goofball Heather is. A little goofball. Okay, now I'll be. Well, hold on. Now I'll be able to hear her. Hopefully. Let's see.
These are my skill sets.
Yeah.
This is what I value them at. How do I get an ROI for everything that I've invested in my journey? Specifically,
sometimes you don't get an ROI. Sometimes shit just doesn't work out. Sometimes you bet on the wrong horses.
For the purpose of creating a fruitful, stable, loving, supportive environment in life for my children and for yours. If you do believe in those butterfly effects and things of that nature, you understand most certainly that as we procreate, the life that we're leaving for our generation's offspring is completely contingent upon our efforts, both individually and as a collective, as a whole. I go to church on Sundays and I pray to God every single Sunday. And most of the days during the week, please, God, please put me in a position me to have a home, a physical home. Yes. You know, I have theoretical custody of my children. And that.
Could you imagine Heather in Iran? Like, I don't think women have as many rights as Iran. I could be getting that mixed up with another country. This could be me being ignorant and just grouping all Middle Eastern countries together. But I don't think Heather would like the government in Iran anymore, even if they gave her universal basic income.
Eyes of the law on pieces of paper, I am the custodial parent. But if I'm living in poverty and I cannot provide for my children, I cannot have physical custody of them. I cannot hold them. I cannot, kiss them. I cannot hug them. So I ask God over and over in the mindset of abundance and in the mindset of there are no limits on what we can earn and what we can create and what we can do and the things we can experience and the things we can provide for each other and for our children and for our offspring. Having that mindset that I have, how do I turn that into something practical that is profitable so that I can, for myself, live in freedom and have the freedom to make a purchase, real estate, for example, or a vehicle, even something as basic as like a timeshare?
That's a good question. I'm sure, like, I know people who know, like, what hotel she's at. I've never been interested enough to like, really look into it. But maybe there is. I don't want to dox her location publicly or anything like that. But we should probably try to figure out what's going on there and how long she'll be expected to be there for. Just for my own curiosity, I can let you guys know without like telling you guys the exact location of it. I'd imagine if like she signed up for a place like this, that there'd be some kind of information online about it.
So that I can
The fuck was that?
Have a safe place that is mine for that period of time to be with my children in that space. That space is what I am craving, whether it is as I said, a rental or something that I
think that's the breastfeeding alarm. Heather is cutting into her fucking pumping time.
own that space. And then once you get that space, you need, let's create the neural network for it. So first thing is you need the space. Then once you have the space, what else do you need to create an environment that's nurturing and loving? And you need energy. You need the energy to do so. You can't be so overworked and exhausted that you don't have the energy and patience that you need to be there, to really show up. You need money. You need money so that you can do things other than just sitting in a circle staring at each other, right? And having surface level conversation or even deep conversation.
There's people with way worse rap sheets than Heather who have put in the work and made their lives better and are living like a better quality of life than most people. So like they're proof it can be done. She should probably get better mentors than Gary Vee and Joel Osteen and shit. You know, then she might actually be able to like pull herself out from. I'm not saying like Heather lives the best life. We've seen her live on the streets pregnant by choice, but like still that's a hard life to live by choice. So I'm not saying like she's had it easy or anything, but like she's just like, I don't think she understands how to pull herself up.
There's only so much of that you could do before your energy depletes, right? So when we're
AIGs
constantly pouring out of the bucket of resources, we need something to fill it back up. And my question continues and remains and always has been, following all of these steps that I've taken, and there's this invisible, force field around me that's not allowing me to get through it.
I think so. Des please. I don't know how to say this. When she does these rants, I always wonder if she's high, and it makes sense. I think it makes like perfect sense to Heather. Like it makes like so much logical sense that she's baffled why no one has done this yet. Why no one has just like made ATMs unlimited and fucking solved poverty before breakfast, you know?
What do I have to do to break that force field down so that I can give myself and my children that space, that opportunity, that lifestyle that we all seek, that stability that we all crave, the love, the happiness, the things of those nature. And the last thing I'm going to say before I hop off of here for now is that, if we don't do something about this now, it's intentional, because maybe before the excuse remained that it was very boxed in. And
it's really church bells going off in the background. I'm like, what the fuck is all that about? Also, I'm surprised she hasn't drawn on the walls or anything. She just has her, I call them DVD cases of her kids. I think she just put the kids on the bedpost or the headboard, but I'm calling them DVD cases of her kids.
Hush hush. And in the olden days, the newspaper was the primary form of communication. So it would be realistic to say that a whole entire environment that grows up in the Midwest has no idea what's going on in the South, right? Especially in the days before phones. How would you hear? It was still possible to find out, but
the radio, the newspaper, word of mouth.
It would have to be like, oh, my cousin went down south and she's coming back next week and she's going to tell me. And then the news she would deliver would be from her limited scope of perspective of reality, from what she saw and experienced on that trip down south. The internet allows us to say what is going on in Texas from Chicago.
Yeah, it's made everything like very, I don't want to say fragmented, but it's just like people are focusing on shit like way outside of their scope of change. Like they can't affect any change like in another country or anything like that. I get like being angry about injustice or whatever, but like I think the internet specifically has made people like wanting to affect local change in their community like non-existent. Like I don't think everyone's just like on their own shit, which I think is like good in a way itself. It like makes people more individual. Back in the day, like when like traditional media, like you had your top stars or whatever, and these were the movies, and this is what was marketed to you, and you had to like really like go underground to find anything different. Right now, like you, based off of like whatever you're searching and stuff, will get marketed. Like all these small creators have like millions of subs that I will never hear of because it's just not my interest. So it's it's like a double-edged sword, I guess, in that sense. But yeah, I don't see anyone giving a fuck about their local communities anymore. I think it's detrimental in that way. But yeah, obviously, like, we have more knowledge. I don't think people have the emotional intelligence to really know what to do with all that knowledge. But hey, this train's moving, and if you're on it, you're on it. If you're Heather, you are like holding on to the side by fucking dear life, white knuckling it.
And click on Texas News. And then you can get a plethora of major media outlets, your standard 579, Fox, NBC, ABC, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, what else? WGN. They have those everywhere pretty much, right? You could get those. And then you could take it a step further and you could go on your social media and say 60611, zip code, enter. And you could get people and their individual perspectives from, that area. So now you've got reputable sources at your fingertips within less than a second from those places, from the news places. Those are all reputable. Oh, my daughter's calling. I'll have to finish this later. Hi, babe.
Don't take calls from your kids on live stream, you wackadoodle.
Alexis?
Alexis is probably watching the stream, wants him to get the fuck off. It's like, you're making no sense. You're no sense.
Hello?
All right, people need money. We're back into the stories now. So that was the first live stream of this week. Mamma mia. I'm telling you guys, we got a lot to get through. So we're an hour in, we still have an hour of stuff left. You guys want to do a smoke break this time? Since we're gonna definitely hit 2 hours. I kind of want to smoke some stuff. But I don't you guys don't like Cobra Cantina. Let me find you something better. I'll be like 2 minutes, like just 2 minutes tops. We'll do that one gets copyright struck. I have my own. I'll do one of my own music songs, and I'll be like I said, like 2 minutes. I just want to prepare myself to read a whole bunch of crap and make a meow. Oh wait, no, this is a classic. Here, give me 1 second. Welcome back. See you guys. That wasn't too long. All right, so I'll get this filled back up. We got to read. We got to read. Okay, so people need money. If circumstances prevent a person from earning money on their own solutions, on their own, there should be a comma. Solutions must be created for them. If you are against human trafficking, that's really strong arming, pigeonholing people. Human trafficking, theft, robberies, hostile takeovers, violence, and other abusive exploitations. If you agree that all humans in society deserve an income, livable wages / incomes, 40 hours a week for a check, I think she meant, that barely covers the cost of rent is not enough. Make a way. Universal basic income. Ask every student in high school to write down 10 needs in their day-to-day life. Now define acceptable minimums and give them into. Would you trying to be a fucking high school teacher now? What is this? Why is she trying to give kids homework about this shit? Filed CH11. What's that? Chapter 11, bankruptcy. The BLDG, the building owner. Of the hotel. Yeah, I was saying earlier that I think like Chicago might have picked up the hotel. Like it was like, yeah, we'll buy the hotel off you to save you a little bit of bankruptcy there, and we can put homeless people in it, because that's what the California did with James. This is her Cash App. I've never been using Cash App. Hey, I've been using Cash App to send money. Blah 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 blah. This is usual crap she does. If we could teach a car to drive, if we could fix the damage of human error, corruption, then we can fix the damage of human error, corruption, greed, ignorance, spite, prejudice, and bias, and its effects on victims systemically and otherwise. No, teaching a car to drive is like, these are all very complex human nature things, and teaching a car to drive is just fucking wheels spinning and moving a thing on top of it around and not hitting stuff. This woman. We can't gather every single piece of evidence, including court transcripts, upload to ChatGPT or another automated transcription form of generative AI, and ask for a casual story. What the fuck are you talking about? Map not only to include final outcomes, but for the entire story, step by step, with casual data explanations and everything in between. Incorporate AI ethical hacking. What? To verify with photos, cross-check with medical records, prescription records, school records, financial records, testimony / references, and vindicate those who have who deserve to be vindicated. Every single electronic medical record that is entered and signed off on by a doctor should be highlighted for amendments, and those amendums, those changes to medical records, should be explored. I don't know. If we teach a car to drive itself, then we could certainly teach humans to be ethical. No, you can't. There is an incentive. There is an incentive for people to be non-ethical, because like you can, I don't know, it comes back to money, right? Normally it's money, or they're greedy, or like they're just selfish. I don't know. But I don't, it's silly. It's silly. That's a silly statement. It's stupid. I don't like it. Heather's made better statements before. This is not it. Crazy Heather. Do I have to read more? I hope I don't have to read more. This is her fake
Like, I'm just gonna be
her fake stuff. Resumes.
Will I ever get my life back, or is this just it?
Oh, this is okay. So this day I recorded it, and then for whatever reason I didn't have any audio, so I had to go to Your Highness again. Your Highness has, like, usually like if I'm missing something or if my audio messes up, she has like it. And this like blue stuff is her comments over it. She rubs her face whenever she's high as fuck. Probably. Actually, that might be a good indicator. So thank you, Your Highness. You guys should check her out. Link is in the description below. Yeah.
For me.
And BCG. But BCG does the stories, and then I'll get like doubles if I like record BCG stuff. But Your Highness has her YouTube channel that has like a lot of it like this.
You know, like, is this just it? Like, I'm just gonna be withheld opportunity until I die, separated from my family and children, and until I stop waking up? Or like, what's what's really going to happen?
What is she watching?
They pick and choose days that I can't even access my online learning. I don't understand this, you know, and I don't think it's moral or ethical or legal in any way.
What is she watch? What is this? Oh, I think it's Beauty and the Beast.
Do you guys think that aliens believe in God?
That's what your question was after watching Beauty and the Beast. You guys think aliens believe in God? What?
Or like, do they have their own God?
What is this music in the background?
Is God like a universal God?
Figure out who Jesus is first. This universal basic income God and AI Jesus.
All the classics. Beauty and the Beast, Princess, no, Aladdin.
That's Aladdin, yeah.
And then after this, if they really wanted to outdo themselves, The Little Mermaid. Do you guys remember the...
Thank God for your highness, actually, because like this is like I would have known what I missed if I missed this. What the hell got there? Why didn't my audio work on these?
Original Sega
Yeah, I remember the original Sega. Why are we asking this?
had an Aladdin game.
Yeah.
And
a Lion King game too, I think.
You had to, like, as the Aladdin character, jump from canopy to canopy to canopy.
I want to play that. Let's play that tonight.
My sister and I used to play that game. When you turned it on, it was like, Sega. We always used to play Columns on the original Sega.
What's Columns?
And, like, some car racing game where, like, one of the characters' names was Sadie, and
she is so fucking high right now. What is fucking happening?
Like dumped oil spills or something on the other cars. I forgot what it was called. And Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, Sonic.
Yeah.
I don't know what this is either. I was like, wait, combat cars on Sega Genesis. Oh, combat cars? That's what it was? I don't know. Me and Megan saw we were like, what the fuck is this?
Hello everyone, it's Nick here. A very warm welcome to you from the Sega Genesis or Mega.
So if we've
Okay. She's watching Aladdin still. What is happening?
always known about poverty and like people having to go through the most for just a simple meal, why is it still a problem?
You can't really compare Aladdin to yourself. Aladdin's the diamond in the rough, you know. He has good morals and shit, and he's just, you know, stealing apples to feed his monkey. You chose to live in a tent and then do drugs with Xavier, at least weed. Who knows what the weed was laced? Xavier's on a bunch of drugs, refuse help, and then just expect everything to be handed to you. Aladdin is a way more better role model than you are. Why am I saying this? Why is my light flickering?
Are we like intentionally not resolving the issue? Aladdin says, gotta eat to live, gotta steal to eat, tell you all about it when I've got the time. Because most of the crimes that happen with regards to victimizing others, like, are because people are poor. Most break-ins don't have any injuries unless someone tries to stop the person stealing. You know, so imagine the person had enough and they never had to steal. Go figure. Whoa, what a concept, right?
That's a concept. Thank you for your support, Orsulak. Please, everyone, consider sending a donation/gift via Cash App. Every penny is one step closer to the goal. Did they say a penny? What is your impact? GoPro Soul. I think this is like the minute of silence. We're going to do a minute of silence. Well, I'm going to talk, but like Heather's going to be a minute of silence, which is nice. She thinks she's a Disney princess, but she's more like Shrek. That's a little bit, yeah. Or maybe Princess Fiona after she got turned into like the ogre thing. Hiya, I have missed catching you live. Chaos, we haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. She's lying in bed in taxpayers' dime, watching cable and composing about poverty, dreaming about stealing because she actually likes stealing. Yeah, no, she does. Ooh, what's this? I missed a little bit here. Hold on, I'll go back. Heather thinks her true calling is the best mom. Let me pull this in. Heather, she wrote Heather like in the third person. True calling is being the best mom. Perhaps instead of focusing on someone's okay, she's posted this before, like reactive abuse or whatever. For the record, Walgreens and Jewel accept the link for protein, but what does that mean? The link for protein, but Whole Foods does not. Is that like some slang for food stamps? I've seen that she posted something on her Twitter. Green cabbage, more protein plus tons of water help to keep breast milk pump supply up. The lemon bar was just because.
I also had an Easy Mac with a packet of tuna mixed in and a gas station burger, like one of those slider sizes. So we're doing good on protein and on cabbage. We're going to go back and pump again.
Why Heather put this laughing face in here? I didn't. Hold on. She does like a laughing face. I don't know why. Where's his universal basic income at though, Heather? She like eats so much stuff every day and everything, but she needs the universal basic income too. She has shelter, food, pretty much anything she asks for in donations. But we need universal basic income.
The weekends are always the hardest for me with pumping, you know.
Why are we looking at diapers? Sponsors, please help. This is about my family and our real lives being affected in major ways, including potentially my ability to never work in my career path again. Please help me. Why? Currently pumping, just finished a protein and some fruit following some morning sprints on LSD. What? Some morning sprints on LSD. What does LSD stand for other than like acid? I refuse to call it doozable. What am I reading? Hold on. What is that? Pumping the yeah, no, LSD. I want to try to zoom in specifically for this. It's gonna whack everything up though, but hold on. LSD. Fruit following some morning sprints on LSD. I refuse to call it doozable. I figure LSD might be some mom slang thing for like I don't know. That's why I was asking you guys. Like all the only LSD I know about is acid, the regular LSD. But I don't. That must have been a typo or something. What is she talking about?
Sponsors, I do think that it's strategic that I'm not
Drive. Thank you, Gretchen.
Permitted to discuss what's going on in court online. I know that I've received a lot of assistance financially and otherwise, a lot of advocacy in discussing what has been going on. If someone could please advise
that pump is going.
Me on what my rights are, because it feels like I don't really have any. Also, I do need money this month. I haven't received anything since last month. I need nursing bags and a couple of other things that I need. We need to do laundry today. We've been trying.
I picture Xavier just listening to that, 80s, 90s rock. Just be like, yeah. What was it? Collective Soul they were listening to when she needed the energy drink. It was like, whoa. Love that. Love that shit.
For the last 3 weeks. It's supposed to be weekly. If you guys want a detailed list of what I need, I would be happy to provide it. But please send the funding via Cash App.
I'm going to ask about the close now.
What about the clothes? What did he say? We're gonna ask him about the clothes now.
A detailed list of what I need, I would be happy to provide it, but please send the funding via
We gotta pay attention closely.
Cash App.
Just because? $20 just because. Gracias, Jennifer. All right, let's really focus.
I'm gonna ask about the clothes now.
I'm gonna ask about the clothes now. I don't know what that means. And then she posted a picture of vegetable chips, because the chips themselves are vegetables already. Like corn chips are made out of a vegetable as corn, and then aren't potatoes a vegetable or a root or a turmeric? I don't know. I thought potatoes were vegetables already, but this is a
Good morning, guys. Sponsors. We need breast milk bags. We need shampoo and conditioner. And what was the other thing? There was one more thing, and that's besides the $500 goal for the Lifetime Fitness membership or Equinox membership, and the other things that I discussed yesterday. So if you guys are out there, please send the donations through Cash App, Apple Pay, or Google Pay, and DM me if you have any questions. My DM only accepts DMs from people that I already have a connection with. So if you're a sponsor, you should already be able to connect. I'm looking for a job, as you guys already know. Something flexible and remote would be ideal. I have a bachelor's
in nothing. Oh wait, does she have a bachelor's in? I don't think she has a bachelor's in anything.
equivalent or more
She didn't test out.
than a bachelor's degree credit in business, new business development, healthcare business, administration, law, and ethics are my specialties. I also have clinical medical assisting. I've assisted a number of doctors, lawyers, and other executives.
What a lawyer says she assisted. Nick Albuquerque? Nick Albuquerque was your lawyer.
So executive calendar management, et cetera, and so forth, travel, things of that nature. If you guys know anyone who's looking for that, I do that. Also, home health care, any sort of health care in the home.
It's your mama's birthday, CD-ROM. Happy birthday to your mama. I hope she has a great one. She's a Gemini. She's part of the Gemini Club.
Home on a part-time basis, mostly weekends. I'm unavailable Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. But I am available Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for any sort of employment opportunities. It's so frustrating out here, you guys. I've been applying to everywhere from literally Starbucks and McDonald's to six-figure incomes and sales positions. My resume is in the bio section.
Someone should just like offer her a job. Someone should go hire her. Anyone who watches this who like lives in Chicago who has a business that like you could put her somewhere where she can't cause too much damage. She won't accept the job. I guarantee she won't accept the job. But just to show that she won't. This is oh shit, is this a new Twitter? So this was joined May 2024. I thought this was one of her old ones. Like, she was posting like stuff from 2019 for some reason. She was going on about 2019. That's why the title she's on 2019 kick and cicadas, because that's the only thing that I saw while prepping. But mother of two boys, two girls, trying to make sense of it all. Super excited to start learning Chat GPT, playbook for agile and prompts. Let me see what else we got here. Being extorted into taking what? I'm being extorted into taking a drug / substance addiction course / therapy and periodic drug tests. I don't do drugs, nor do I drink. I've never had a substance abuse addiction in my life. I have had a 4 to 5 set of drug testing, and they asked, have you ever used drugs or alcohol? We saw you smoking pot on stream, and you were going on about how it was good for the pregnancy. And then also we seen you drunk as fuck after the first after the twins like passed. You have used at least that drug and alcohol for sure, and I would bet more. Well, the duster. So like, bro, the past 30 days, I say how's that, but wait. I'd say not outside of a small sip of communal wine each Sunday. We need to get on this. It's private. It's a private Twitter account. So she only has 5 followers. Who are 5 followers? If you're one of these 5 followers, hit me up. I need to know what's on this Twitter. I got to make an alt account that she will not suspect is someone like me. That's crazy. I don't know. I thought it was old, like I said before. Interesting. Just this picture. Heather Gillespie, it's been 105 days since we finally, counting the days, finally got accepted into housing. Yeah, it's been a quarter. Ooh, we're almost at a third of a year. It's been a quarter of a year, though. Weston is 15 weeks old. Alexis is 10. Lewis is 6. Oh, I don't know. I'm reading all these names off. Prior to 2020, my children all lived with me full time their entire lives, at least 4.5 days out of 7, with few exceptions. Whenever I needed to go down and see Dylan, today is June 5th, 2024. We are still waiting for our apartment, but signed up for Section 8 housing when we left the Shield of Hope to go to the 6-month shelter in the first weeks of March 2024. We're getting like more information now than we did like at the time of this happening, because she was kind of tripping about the court case and everything, and like she went from like posting all the time to like not at all. So I guess like maybe she's feeling more talkative. I don't know. It's interesting though. I don't know why. Today's the day. Homelessness is the most widespread form of torture. The culture encourages drug use, but you're not homeless right now, right? Sleep deprivation and degradation, as well as humiliation, and in many instances, this is a fucking terribly sentenced thing, lasting over prolonged periods of time. I think like I must not have been the first, but I think she knows that they're gonna get kicked out soon if something does. I don't know. I don't even know. Why would you be posting stuff like this if the kick out date wasn't sometime soon? Maybe she's squatting. Meet the artist, Xavier Montoya. Wait, who the fuck is this? Who's Jose Montoya? What? Bitcoin investor. Casualty. Okay. Oh, the Cocoa Coffee Table book? Where is this, Heather? Where is the coffee table book? I've been waiting. We've all been waiting. This is, okay, yeah, this is another minute of silence. Kanye West incoherently pairs a mega hat with Kaepernick sweater. I don't know what that means. Happy, right? I don't fucking know, Heather. You look crazy. Second live. So this is the live that I think made my computer go crazy. This is from Facebook. She looks, I don't know if she's using a filter. She looks so different in this, actually. She's a shapeshifter too. But yeah, this is from Facebook. BCG let me know that this happened, or else I would not have known. Jill, how you doing? Yeah, Gemini gang. Whoops, I am not pressing the things.
Good afternoon, you guys. I just wanted to give everyone an update. For everyone who has been here with me, I've had Facebook the longest out of all my social media platforms. I've had 5 or 6 different Instagrams, maybe even more than that, just in the last 4 years. And the reason for that is because beginning in 2020, my life took kind of a drastic and sudden change. Anyone who knows me knows that since the day my children were born, they've been my first priority always. When Viviana was little and Lewis were little.
Oh, happy birthday to you as well, Veronica.
I kind of worked whatever job I could get, and I went full-time into school and work. So I would be with the kids at school or at work, and that was my life. By the time Alexis was born in 2013, I kind of reached a point in my education where I could take what I learned and apply it to get a career, like a career type job, not just like a, intermediate, I need money now type job. And at that time I was hired at Northwestern Hospital, the downtown Chicago campus, 676 North St. Clair. And I worked there for approximately 6 years.
Here we go about the life story. You gotta get cozy.
And I worked there with, whether it was Clisma at the time or Northwestern or Northwestern Medical Faculty Foundation. I worked there with about, I say 40 doctors, because the way that the practice was set up, there was the floor I worked, which was the 20th floor, and then the 23rd floor was a group of internists. And on the 20th floor,
I do remember when they wouldn't let her into that shelter, and then she was like waiting on the subway because like they wouldn't let all the shit. Yeah, she got evicted from the yacht club. I remember all that.
All of the specialists worked there. So you had dermatology, neurology, gastroenterology, and then you had rheumatology, endocrinology, and then you had gastroenterology, neurology, dermatology. The only specialty that didn't work on floor 20 was cardiology, which was on floor 23, and then all of those internists. And each specialty had approximately 2 to 4 doctors in that specialty. And we all were in one big office. And I was trained to cover for any of those doctors, administrative assistants or clinical assistants. So I was doing things like injections, triaging.
She wasn't doing injections. If Kenny were here, Kenny would say, "That's a bunch of nonsense. What's she talking about?"
Vital signs, everything but drawing blood. So literally everything but drawing blood at Northwestern. I drew blood at other places, Alexian Brothers, outpatient clinic that I was working at for Gottlieb, and a couple of other clinics. But for the most part, I was doing administrative function and executive calendar.
What's with those church bells again? Those are church bells, right? They go on forever.
Management, scheduling, insurance verification, charting, auditing charts, helping doctors merge from paper charts to electronic medical records and things of that nature. So again, big kids, I was working in factories, I was going to school, I was working retail, I was working food service. Then Alexis was born. I got the job at Northwestern about 4 years before she was born, maybe 5. And I kind of just worked and worked and worked and worked. And I was working more, than your standard 40-hour work week. And in doing so, I gained.
Thank you to the person who sent me Heather's Twitter. I don't know if you want to be mentioned because I don't know. I want to blow up your spot. I don't know if Heather watches any of this, but just in case she does, I want to say, but thank you very much. You know who you are. Hell yeah. Also, Callie Wolf, thank you for the $25 super chat. Love your content, mate, from Australia. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it. It's mostly crazy. Crazy. This is, oh my gosh, look at this. This is a good screen grab too. We got some good pausing tonight. Screen frames. I'm trying to think if that's not the right word I'm looking for, but thank you.
A lot of really valuable experience. But I also, was not able, I missed out on a lot of the time that I was able to spend with my children as babies. And my kids were little only once, as all children are only little once. And so that is something that I look back on and really wish that I could have spent more time with them when they were little rather than working. But I also understand human need and necessity and the need to work and pay bills, et cetera, and so forth. When Weston was born, now understand my life was very normal. And by normal, I mean work, kids, home. In 2015, after several years working at Northwestern Hospital, Alexis was about 18 months old, and I quit my job at Northwestern. I quit my job pretty abruptly. I would not say it was an impulsive decision. I was complaining about my job to my father for a really long time. I felt like I had put forth an extensive amount of effort that was not even really required to get the job done. I felt like, in comparison to other medical staff and medical administrators and administrative assistants and even executives at the level that I was working, I was getting paid. I mean, I felt like I was getting cheated. I would stay sometimes 60 hours a week, 20 hours off the clock because Northwestern didn't authorize overtime. And I didn't feel like what I was getting paid 4 years in, 5 years in, 3 years in was enough.
Is she going to say she quit then? Because I thought the story before was she got fired from every place she ever worked at unjustly. She didn't do anything. It was the troll. Well, she didn't say the trolls, but she says the haters. King Cobra, he's like, the trolls are always out to get me. She's like, the haters, they are always out to get her,
Compared to what I started at. So I really, truly believed in myself, and I felt like I could find something better.
You guys really want to see the Xavier pick? It's in her stars. We will get to it. I don't know exactly where it is, but we will get as soon as I see it. I'll be like, ah, look at it. It's crazy. He looks crazy.
Better for my family, less hours with the same amount of money, etc., and so forth.
What is that?
So I left Northwestern and I got a job in bottle service. And I got another job as a optical manager, office manager. So I was doing full-time optical office manager. I was prepping to compete in the NPC bodybuilding.
Heather won't even. You see the amount of effort Heather puts towards anything else in her life, and you really think she's staying 20 extra hours to not get paid for it? I doubt it.
So I was weightlifting. I was being a mom to all three of my children. I had my own apartment, me and my kids. And my kids went to their father's houses on the weekends. And when I started working bottle service in 2015 as a second job, I never thought that it would low key, be the start of the end of my sense of normalcy. I thought that it would always be just something to get me by and extra money. And it just didn't turn out to be that way for me. For me, it was an entry to a lifestyle that I was not comfortable living and that I couldn't even relate with or navigate. It was just I opened up a portal to this world that I never even knew existed. And it was exciting, but also incredibly terrifying. And long story short, did not have the tools that I needed to protect myself from I don't want to call them monsters, but there are just people who, survive by taking advantage of others. And that's what brought me to where I am in GoPro Solo. So the reason why I feel like it's essential that I continue to share this part of my story is because if you're like you or me, I grew up in Elmhurst, so western suburbs. I moved to the city very, very early. I moved to Melrose Park, Franklin Park at 18 years old, 17 years old. And then I moved to the city at 23.
Again, lifetime story with Heather. Why do we need to know this? What is this building up to? AI Jesus.
So I'm 37 now. So I've been a Chicago girl my whole life. But in Elmhurst and in the western suburbs, I was never exposed to this type of person. I was never exposed to someone who will predatorily take advantage of you or me, or put drugs or alcohol in your, food or beverage without you knowing. Or
is that what she's claiming happened? I didn't even know I was doing drugs. They must have just been put in my food and my drink, because it's a big conspiracy. They did it.
Come to your house and steal from you, or
steal my eggs, cut my hair, steal my makeup, steal my socks, and then give them back.
Rob you, or steal all your clothing, or lie on official documents about you. I never even knew to protect myself from that because I never knew that it was a threat. And in working bottle service, I was definitely exposed to a lot of that. And also a lot of really nice people, who I really care about and formed really, really great relationships with, and who looked out for me and I looked out for them. So it was kind of a mix of both, but it threw my life off course in a way that I never expected. And it's also when and where I met my significant other of nearly 5 years, a little under, who ended up coercing and kind of exploiting my love for him in many, many ways, which I'll discuss.
Which you'll discuss when. We know. What are you talking about, Heather? He exploited your love for him? What did he make you do because you loved him? Oh, are you? No, okay, never mind. She's talking about Dylan for 5 years. She dated Dylan for 5 years while he was in prison, and then they couldn't even last 2 days out together, and they broke up. That's what she's talking about. Never mind. I thought this was a new person. It's always the same song I dance with Heather. Sometimes she makes it sound like it's going to be something different, though. And then I'm like, wait, what? And my ears perk up, and then I'm like, oh, wait, no, it's just this guy.
In detail in my novel, but for the purpose of this live,
where's the novel? The novel, the coffee table book, the now the neural network. None of the shit's getting done.
It's not really prudent. Just know that for love, I would have hurtled my body off of a building because I thought that I had met this man, a trust fund person, who was going to buy my children and I a beautiful home, and all of the hard work I had been doing and going to school full time and working full time and
Dylan is a trust fund baby.
Being a mom, part-time, because let's just be honest, if you're a full-time working mother, you're a part-time. If you're a full-time employee, you're a part-time mother. You're spending more time with the coworkers that you see on a daily basis than you are with your children. And that devastated me. I wanted nothing more than to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. And that was a promise that he, made to me. So I did everything I could to continue that relationship. And
I don't know if this maybe this isn't Dylan. It'd be crazy if this is somebody else. But like, no, I forgot what the other thing I was gonna say. This sounds crazy though. In the other version of the Dylan story, like he got her a job and they were selling renewable energy together and shit. So maybe this is a different person. But the 5-year thing, her like gonna do anything, hoard herself out for Dylan, like that's all that tracks. So what did this happen to this other guy before? Did the same thing happen before? Is the same thing gonna happen with Xavier? Like, Mamma Mia.
it turned out to be incredibly, incredibly, incredibly exploitative and abusive for me. When I tried to end that relationship, I was unlawfully thrown into the street. My apartment that I
Yeah, no, this is Dylan. Unlawfully thrown into the police. He got a restraining order on her, and it was his apartment. She wasn't paying the bills for it. She's gonna say it was my apartment, and then they threw me out. Yeah, no, this is a completely different story from before.
I had and maintained with my children and I for the entire time I was in that relationship was given to this person who, was not a good person, and was not, doing the things that good people do. And I was told, you have to leave. And not only you have to leave, but you can't take your car and you can come back for it later. And we're not going to leave with any money.
I wouldn't have expected his family to have money the way he acts.
I'm going to give you money to leave. Just get out. And it was awful. Like I didn't have anywhere to go. And I experienced homelessness for the first time in my entire life. And I experienced being sexually assaulted, and I experienced being robbed, and I experienced, a lot of really, really adverse effects. My children, who at the
I don't know if she was actually ever married to Dylan. I know that in Love After Lockup, they like followed up with Heather. I don't know, like a week or something after they broke up. And she was like doing this photo shoot, and she was like, now this is what I gotta do since we broke up. And there's like a projector with like writing on it, and it was like Mrs. Y12 whatever, like his inmate thing. So like I think she probably curated that before they broke up.
Time were 14, 13, and 6, about to be 7, had to go live with their fathers. And they had always lived with me full time and only been with their fathers on weekends.
Yeah, I think like this is a Dylan tattoo. She has like 4 or 5 Dylan tattoos. At least that's what they said in Love After Lockup as well.
My heart was completely broken and destroyed. Amidst all of this adversity, I was filing police reports regularly and asking people for help, going directly to the state's attorney, asking them for help. And it was amidst this time that I also started realizing, like, is the world taken over? Is the government taken over? Do we even have court anymore? And COVID was a thing. So
is it 6? It could be 6. Like I don't remember the number. I just remember it being more than 3 for sure. So much.
Everything was like court on Zoom only. And I was just freaking out. I would apply to jobs, a million jobs like per month, and just to do anything. I would launch these entrepreneurial endeavors that were like various sales endeavors or like service-based endeavors like personal training, cleaning homes. Amazon was like really growing in size, and I thought to Amazon, I thought I could take advantage of the Amazon influencer platform because I had grown in working in the night industry. I had grown a tremendous following.
So I don't know if she's gonna tell the same story where she goes to one of her friends' houses or something, and then she's just like, whenever you buy these products off Amazon, you're gonna use this link, which is her affiliate link, which is not how that's supposed to work. She's supposed to just like put her affiliate link in like the description of her videos, and then like people may buy the products. But the way she described it last time she went into this is like she was going to people's houses specifically, and I don't even know if she was just telling them to do this. I don't know if they knew what they were doing. It's a strange thing. I wonder if this will be the same story or if this will change as well.
something like 50 or 60,000 people just on Instagram alone. And
cicadas are like these bugs that sleep for 7 years or something. They come out and they go like, ah, and there's all these cicadas around, and Heather thinks it's the end of the fucking world because of it, and she has this like bee suit. I call it the bee suit. She's walking around in and she's complaining about it. It's something.
Facebook was something very similar. I had far surpassed the 5,000 friend, limit that we were allotted. And I had numerous fan pages, and I was doing, appearance-based entertainment work. And I just have tried it all. I've done so many things entrepreneurially speaking, like sales and appearances and service-based organization, Amazon influencer, taking care of other people. Ooh, excuse me, pardon me. Cleaning, organizing, gardening, like you name it, literally you name it, and I've done it. And it was then that I realized that like something weird was going on, and I still feel that way, that something incredibly weird is going on with the world. I've never been in a space where I couldn't get a job, like as a bartender at the very least. I have excellent articulation skills. I know how to mix a beverage. I have food service industry experience. Whatever it is, I was willing to do it, like any job. I want to be with my children. I am not accustomed to living like in the backseat of my car. And I spent like 40 grand on hotels and Airbnbs in this time. So it's been very, very difficult.
I don't think like she would take any cameos. I think it'd be all trolls trying to get her to say things that she probably just want to say. But like, I'm sure maybe she would have like some actual ones. You could make a little bit of money on there.
I went live here on Facebook while in the midst of all that abuse, right before I got thrown out of my home. So Facebook is really like the best witness that I have is Facebook. I literally went live while someone was attempting to break into my home. I went live a couple of other times while I was being.
Is she still burping? I didn't even notice. I'm crazy though. Why is this not working? There we go. Whoa.
Being terribly abused. Since the time that all of that took place, not much has changed with regards to stability. I don't want to call it vindication, but like justice, no.
Fred Durst, the most influential person on this planet, the most famous person of our generation. I don't know if he actually is. I think he wrote songs for Britney Spears, and he did like Russian propaganda videos or something. He's he started a riot at Woodstock. What a cool guy. Is it Fred Durst?
No one from law enforcement that I followed up with. There was
Robert Durst, the murderer. Is he related to Fred Durst?
Detective James Cleese, who I was following up with as of 2017 or 18, in detail, telling him things that were going on. His mailbox is supposedly full, and as of about a year ago, he stopped being responsive or allowing the messages to come to his inbox. I started receiving that mailer demon alert that comes back when you send an email.
Wait. She's going on about the demon alert again? Is this the same live stream from... They can't be. No, it's not. She's just going on about the male demons again. For reals? I'm not crazy, right? She's crazy. She had like a black thing on it. The thing was way higher and it was more yellow. And I was like, we should put it like spot. Yeah, no, this is a different one. She's going on with the male demons again.
And that was 2023. So I lost my point person for who I was dealing with. I was dealing with a Detective Rojas from Lombard, Illinois, with regards to the sexual assault, one of numerous. I was dealing with several officers. I don't know where they're from, somewhere near the Forest Preserve.
I wonder if I can play just a little bit of this song for you guys. It's the best song ever. Hold on. Here, check this out. I can't play too much of that, or else I'll copy it. But that's a copyright claim it. But that's some Fred Durst and Spice Girls.
Area that separates Chicago from the western suburbs with regards to Marcy's Law in reporting sexual assaults and things of that nature. I was dealing with Elmhurst Police Station. I was dealing with Barrington Police. And I was tracking like all of these things that were taking place during this time I was being victimized in all of the different jurisdictions. To this day, not a single detective has called me back. To this day, I have been falsely accused of being crazy, of being a liar, of being addicted to substances.
Yeah, I mean, crazy is subjective. I could think like, just like normal is subjective, right? Like some person's normal might not be the same as another person's, and they could see each other as crazy, right? So that's subjective. You can't really say that. You have lied about a bunch of stuff like that. You can show like you contradicting yourself with your own words. So yeah, I mean, like it happened. Unless I don't know, it's not like something can change. Well, Hillary Clinton used to say that my opinion could change over time. It's just like straight up lies. I'm trying to think of like a specific ones, but she does it a lot. And then being addicted to substances. I mean, like if there's substances in your system and you're trying to make excuses on why you should smoke weed while pregnant, like I'd call that addiction, probably.
I have provided both publicly as well as privately to law enforcement.
And that's not even like counting the other shit, like the Adderall and shit she used to take back when she used to tape up the air vents because she thought like people were spraying stuff into her apartment.
Judges and everyone in between letters from my own primary care physician who I've seen for more than 10 years, at least 10 months out of the year. And he writes very clearly, there's nothing wrong with this woman. She's a great mother. I've known her for 10 years. I met Xavier.
I thought you meant like grapes, the fruit, for a second. Yeah, from the grapes, from the grape. You know what I mean.
About 2 years ago, in the middle of the homelessness. And he approached me and said that he was taking me to a safe house where no one was going to hurt me anymore, that he was going to protect me, and that I was not going to be assaulted anymore. He said that he had a brother who worked for the district attorney's office and that they were going to help me, reach resolution for everything that had been ongoing. Unfortunately, that has not happened. What did happen is Xavier and I had a baby.
I forgot about the hole in the closet. Yeah, she was saying that there is some like hole in the closet that she thinks that people are coming through. No, just no.
His name is Weston. He's 15 weeks old. And unfortunately, I can't go into details about what's going on with him, but quite literally, he is being unlawfully, inhumanely, unconstitutionally, and unethically used as a pawn. It's very sad. It's heartbreaking. I have only been able to see him for 6 hours a week since I gave birth to him. And all of the evidence that I continue to present to the state of Illinois, as well as the federal government.
It's really weird because, like, obviously Xavier lied to her as well, but it's almost like it's like the first thing Xavier told her, it has to be fact. Like, that's just like in her mind now, and that she thinks like if she's stubborn enough, it's gonna come true. I don't think Xavier's brother works for the DA or is the DA or whatever the hell that was about. And he wasn't sent from God to save her. And everything else he said, like about like giving her a place to stay, and everything else has not come true. So why can't she just be like, oh, this guy's a liar. Maybe I should move on with my life. She's like, you told me this, so this is what's gonna happen. It's like it's not. It's just a weird way of thinking.
Government. It remains consistent and it remains truthful, honest, and 100% real. A lot of people have tried to write off my experience as publicity, trying to grow my social media following. You can rest assured that I do not care about social media with regards to growing a following for reasons of vanity. It's never been about that. If I've been trying to grow a following on social media, it's been because I'm trying to use it for business purposes to support my family, or because I'm terrified at the injustice with regards to my case. And by my case, I mean all of the police reports I have filed that I have gone to the state and other local law enforcement for assistance with that have remained unanswered for a period of many years, multiple years. And I think it's also worth mentioning that my ex was involved with something called a proffer, which is a deal between the state of Illinois, their state's attorney, not attorney general, their attorney, the state's attorney, created a deal for him that he was mixing me in with. I was referred to in the past as residual damage of his deal, of his cases.
What? Residual damage? That's the first. She's some new things, I guess. Weird Heather. Weird, crazy Heather.
And I have been relentless at going to the state of Illinois, as well as law enforcement, city of Chicago law enforcement, and surrounding suburbs for
What did he do with the DA office? Was he just like the mail boy?
assistance in handling the situation and in next steps. When I got pregnant with Weston, Xavier and I were homeless. I was calling the city's 311 department. My vehicle, a Cadillac CTS, had been destroyed. Only months
If you're playing bingo tonight, you're getting kid all of them.
after I made final payment on the vehicle. It was just my vehicle. I didn't share it with anyone. I made every payment myself. And with the exception of a small portion of money for my down payment that I borrowed from a friend, a girlfriend, I paid for every single thing that car needed. Every payment, the insurance, the oil changes. I almost said hot oil treatments, like for hair. The oil treatments, the oil changes, anything that damaged on it, I replaced it. The tires, like I did everything by myself. And 1 month after making final payment, it was stolen from me. And
like, imagine like coming home, not from work, but I guess wherever Xavier gets drugs from or pizza or whatever. Come in. Heather's just like in the corner talking to the fucking phone again about the Cadillac CTS and Universal Basic Income and all this nonsense. But just at it again, guys.
to this day, they say that it was sold at auction. I paid for that vehicle. I paid for that vehicle legally with money that I earned legally, with money that I have paid taxes on. So I still don't have my vehicle. I was denied housing the duration of my pregnancy. My physician has supplied the court and everyone involved with a letter, a testimony stating that I have been his patient for more than 10 years, that he has seen me at least 10 months on average out of a year, every single month, that he and numerous of his colleagues are well aware that there's nothing wrong with me and that I've never had a substance abuse issue. Yet the United States government is still, continuing and blatantly refusing to acknowledge the situation for its validity and its truthfulness and my points for their truthfulness. And when I say I'm brokenhearted to be separated from my family, but I'm even more brokenhearted to learn that the United States of America is willing to look the other way and allow a tax-paying citizen, any human at all, whether you're a refugee or a natural-born citizen, should not go through what I've gone through. But especially,
I like the piano music in the background. I don't know where the fuck that's coming from. Maybe this Xavier playing. Does Xavier still have his piano? I can't imagine they let him keep it.
A tax-paying citizen who has been a contributing member of society since her 15th or 14th birthday.
Oh yeah, I remember Heather was complaining about, like, I left the car in the lot. He said that he could leave it there for as long as he wanted, and then I came back and it was gone after a year. After a year, Holmes.
I had a work permit for my first job. I was so young. There's no reason at all, none, not even half of a reason why my situation should still be ongoing and not resolved. None. And the fact that they're toying with my newborn, it's just wrong. It's wrong, it's illegal, it's unlawful, and no one should have to go through it. So where I am now, for the record, is that 2 days after my son was born, and I was doing live FTRs, which I refer to as for the record. I was going live every single day on my Instagram and giving updates on the situation of homelessness, what I had done to resolve the situation, who I had called, the city's 311 and other protocols, the harassment and abuse that I had been enduring. I was pretty much giving daily updates. So there's no excuse why law enforcement or another authority would not have a complete picture of what was going on. I was also calling.
Let's not, like, posting to social media. You think the police are just, like, actively looking at everyone's social media and be like, whoa, this sounds pretty crazy. Better investigate this. And then she always contacts, like, the wrong person to report things to. They always say, no, you got to go here, you got to go here, you got to go here. And then Heather just kind of, like, picks her own fucking way and then complains about it on social media. It's like, it's all there. It just must be that they hate me and they're ignoring me or whatever. Like, if anything actually happened, like, I don't know. She doesn't get how the system works. She thinks she could just say, like, this stuff happened years and years and years ago, have no evidence of it, and that things can actually happen to have resolution. Like, when something happens, you got to report it right away. She refused to identify the guy who hit her over the head with a tire iron, which actually happened, which there's a police report for, because, like, the computer didn't work the first time, and if it was either the first time or no time with Heather. Like she's a crazy person, in my opinion.
Law enforcement directly at least every week, if at the most every other week. At the least every other week, at the most every week. So none of this was a surprise. I was not offered any sort of assistance at all whatsoever. As I said, I was in a tent that was pitched in the parking lot of Belmont Harbor my entire pregnancy, from 28 weeks until I delivered at 40 weeks.
That's not entirely accurate. I mean, like she also stayed in Lincoln Park in the zoo. But yeah, I mean, the end there was the yacht club. Most of it was the yacht club at the end. Yeah,
5 days. I did not have an air mattress or like a camping mattress. Nothing. I was on cement. Any ladies in the crowd who have been pregnant before?
Well, you were on that board. Remember the board that was like too short, but like you were still on a board. I mean, like I'm not trying to be nitpicky, but it's like you documented this pretty thoroughly, and you would bitch about it all the time.
Can tell you, pregnancy is uncomfortable to begin with. Being 40 weeks pregnant on cement, begging for help on a daily basis and not being offered any is something I would wish on no one.
They were like, you can come into the shelter. She was like, can I bring Xavier? They were like, no. And then she was like, I'm going to stay in the tent then.
My children have to, had to call me every day and check on me. Children, who love their mother, feeling completely powerless, like there was nothing they could do to help the situation. I would try to be in the best of spirits as possible, but I was definitely hurting inside tremendously.
Yeah, I should do tent tours. Be like, this is the piano room. This is like where I keep all my clothes. This is this is that. Oh, they had a nice little place in the tent.
As I said, I have been more than a contributing member.
Thank you. I forgot about that. Yeah, some lady bought her 2 air mattresses that she went through. Doesn't think to mention or acknowledge that. I forgot about that.
Of society. I have been incredibly kind, incredibly loyal, and incredibly honest. And I have, a lot of references and a lot of people who can back up what I say as being true. Every single piece of evidence that I turn in seems to be disregarded. As a matter of fact, the opinion of up to 15 strangers that call themselves law enforcement members seems to be more important to the powers that be than the testimony of my physician who's known me for 10 years.
I mean, it depends on like what the instance is. They have body cams? What is your physician contesting the police? Like, oh my God, I don't know. I hate when she's vague like that. Just tell us exactly what's happening, Heather. What happened here?
So they're taking the word of 15 individuals who have met me each for less than 5 minutes total. And
that's a lot of individual people as well. Like 15 individual people's testimony against like your physician that might have just was tired of hearing you talk and was like, you know what? Yeah. From what I can see and my medical knowledge, this is what happened. Maybe. I don't know. And she's like, they didn't do it. That's this crazy face.
They're examining those people's perspectives with more weight than they are my own doctor. As a matter of fact, they're not even calling on my doctor. So I'm scared. It feels as though my rights have been completely infringed upon. Since I'm not permitted to discuss the details of what's going on, it's been incredibly difficult to reach out through social media and ask for social media assistance, ask for assistance of human rights workers, advocates, lawyers. That's where the most of my support has come from. I've reached out to Lindsay Hendren at Between Friends Chicago. I've reached out to the National Domestic Abuse Hotline. I've reached out to the National Human Sex Trafficking Hotline. I've reached out to RAIN. I've reached out to...
Could you imagine just being on a campsite? Just being on a campsite solo and then reaching out to the National Sex Traffickers Hotline to say, my boyfriend in jail is telling me to go on this site because he likes to be a cuck. And I just can't not do it. I'm being sex trafficked. Like, what do you think they'd say to that? What do you think they would say?
The list goes into the 30s or 40s for advocacy groups that I have reached out to, towards law firms that I have reached out to individually. And you guys have been here for what? How long have we been live now? 20 minutes and I've told you probably like 1/16 of what's going on. Maybe, that's being generous. There has been so much victimization and so much pain, and it's just wrong. Not only that, but they're also, forcing me. And by force, I mean giving me one of two options: do what we say or don't have your children and be homeless on the street and not have shelter. So it's extortion. And they're extorting me to now take a drug substance abuse therapy class when I have never had an addiction to chemicals in my entire life. Not to drugs, not to alcohol, ever. Nothing even remotely close. So that's the next step for me. But as I said,
Yeah, they're just high on life.
I wish I could get into details more. If you are, and this is my whole purpose for going live, if you are a lawyer, if you are a human rights advocate, if you are someone who knows me in person, please, 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 please reach out via the private message. Let me know if you know someone who works with human service cases or human rights cases or civil rights cases. I have an outstanding amount of proof. Proof I am in no shortage.
She was just holding it for a friend. She has a possession of cocaine charge. She has like a pretty interesting rap sheet. I can't remember everything, but like we went over it one stream. Yeah. Usually the people who aren't addicted to drugs end up with cocaine charges.
Of proof. I am in no shortage of documentation. Please, if you would like to donate money, time, energy, effort, or legal advice, I would be so incredibly grateful. My name is Heather Gillespie. You can always know that it's me based on a couple of tattoos I have on my body. There have been quite a few Heather Gillespies who have seen my situation and opportunistic.
Another Heather, like people with the same name or just people in the same kind of scenario or circumstances? What is she talking about?
Used it as, some sort of way to raise money and pretended to be me and then like dipped off with the money.
What? Who would be like, okay, I need to make money. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to impersonate Heather Gillespie, the worst parent of all time. I'm going to pretend to go live in a tent to make what? How much do you think Heather makes in a day? No more than 300 tops. That would just be like, there's better people to impersonate to get donations. This is some narcissist shit here. I've never heard her say this before.
No one has formally intervened. And no one has formally approached me and, sat down with me and taken my information and assisted me. So the update for where we are now is Xavier and I, 2 days after Weston was born, just as 311 had told me. 311, for anyone who doesn't know, is the city's homeless assistance hotline. So you call 311 if you're experiencing homelessness, and they're supposed to come pick you up from where you are and bring you to housing. We called them every week of the pregnancy. They would say the same thing every single time. We can't help you today, but we will when the baby's born. I literally spent my pregnancy in a tent on the ground during blizzards, during rain. We were flooded out a million times. It was miserable. And 2 days after the baby was born, 311, as they said, came to place the three of us in a family placement.
I might have to. I wasn't really paying attention too much. That poll is supposed to be like per day. I didn't put a per day thing. I should have.
And unfortunately, I was bullied and mistreated, and something, went on, and my son was not permitted to come home with me. And I have been seeing him for 6 hours a week ever since. And I'm told that if I disclose any details, that I will be held in contempt of court. How do I find a lawyer? How do I fundraise?
You call one up. Find one. If you really think you can win this case and you have everything together like you say you do, then maybe you can find someone to do it on contingency out of the goodness of their heart with your story that's supposed to move so many people, right? Or you're not gonna like this option, Heather. You go and get a job. Maybe find someone who isn't Xavier, who could maybe like loan you some money for a lawyer, or actually has credit to go get a loan for a lawyer, or just has like maybe a credit card. Someone better than Xavier. or you gotta go work and do stuff, which we all know you're not gonna do. So I don't know, Heather. This is that's how normal people get lawyers.
How do I crowdsource funding? You know, it seems incredibly wrong and
Or do that. Crowdsource. Do a GoFundMe. I don't think you'll get much, but you can try that.
incredibly corrupt. And I am just praying that by, you know, being transparent and being forthcoming at the
yeah, I forgot about that video. She was like, this is Muse using Muse energy filter. I am going to represent myself in this case. I'm sure that went over great.
Surface level that I can with what's going on in the case. One of you will please help me. My son turns 15 weeks. I have done every single thing that's been asked of me. He turns 15 weeks on Monday. Xavier and I have been in housing since he was 2 days old. I have passed every drug test that they have forced me to take. I've done nothing wrong. My relationship with my other 3 children is just as strong as it's ever been. They don't live with me right now, but I have court-ordered primary custody of all 3 of them, which means I've already gone in front of a judge for the state of Illinois and won custody of my children. And
what, back in like a bazillion BC, where I don't know, maybe you were fit to look after them, but then I'm sure another ruling has happened since then. Like they don't just, you know, do that shit.
The court has access to all of that. So just if there are lawyers, you know, please, we're in housing currently. The city of Chicago has bent over backwards to be accommodating. They literally told us and the people who facilitated this housing.
Oh, is that the bee suit that I've been talking about?
That as soon as the baby is returned to our custody, they will help us to get into a family-based housing situation. No questions asked, that it will be seamless, that we have nothing to worry about. And the goal ultimately is that before the 6 months is up that we've been in this situation, we will receive an apartment. My baby is breastfeeding still, so I'm pumping. I'm pumping milk every 4 to 6 hours and saving it in a fridge, and then I bring it to him once a week, or twice a week rather. I have to pump and dump, so to speak, on Friday night and Saturday because breast milk only remains good in the refrigerator for 4 days. And we don't have a freezer to freeze it. So my visit is on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And if I don't put the milk in the freezer by Wednesday, by Tuesday that I pump Friday, it goes bad. So Friday and Saturday, I have to dump the milk. I get to breastfeed when I see him on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And the rest of the time, I'm literally pumping and saving the milk. I need money for nursing bags to collect the milk and like store the milk.
I am surprised that like she hasn't violated the court order already and like doxed the public defender that was pointed to her like she did with her doctors and everything, and that's why they're like, I can't be your fucking doctor, like you're blasting me on social media. She was literally telling people to dox this doctor because like she didn't believe that she was old enough to be a doctor, and it was like a fake doctor or some shit. So the doctor was like, fuck this, I'm out.
Money for Ziploc bags to keep the milk fresh once it's in the nursing bags. I'll show you. I use these kinds of nursing bags. So I pump and I put the milk in here, and then I put it in one of these gallon storage bags. These cost about $15 every like 2 weeks. These cost about like $4 or $5 every 2 weeks. I really desperately need money to continue purchasing him clothes. I bought him about 40 pieces of clothing before he was born. I bought him a car seat. I'll show you. A car seat.
One of the doctors definitely did want to drug test her because I remember her bitching about that too, being like, I don't know why you want to drug test me when I've already been drug tested. Like, so she could never do drugs again after that one drug test or whatever.
Stroller, a bed, a little like bassinet bed, and everything before he was born. So I was completely prepared for him before he was born. I have everything he needs, but regardless of what's going on, I like to bring him to the visit a new outfit every week. I only have like 2 more new outfits left. I have a phenomenal resume. I have like,
I don't want to This is a weird look of feathers.
Like I said, several years in the healthcare, experience at Northwestern, experience at an optical eye doctor place doing visual field testing and other optical exams, optical purchasing, so buying like designer frames and sales in those capacities, billing, coding, medical law and ethics, a lot of experience in HIPAA, which is Health Insurance Portability Accountability Act. I've also taken classes and continue to take classes in AI, cybersecurity, entry level, Python, computer programming language. I'm currently taking a sort of self-taught course from a book that was written by one of my mutual friends on LinkedIn about ChatGPT for any of my AI people. I'm just getting more familiar with ChatGPT and AI. Just so that I can be indispensable and so that I can, find a way to support my family. But despite my resume being stellar and all of the letters of recommendation that I have, and the fact that I could pass a drug test any given day, and the fact that I have been completely compliant, and the fact that I have also been incredibly abused, I don't see much of a change. We're in this shelter, thank God, rather than being in a tent. But I'm not being permitted to earn my own income. My children are supposed to live with me by court order, and that's not being permitted either. So I really need a lawyer, you guys. And please, if you guys know me in real life, please, you know what's true. Please don't allow the online slander to get into your heads. I swear to God, I would give one of my limbs to have this situation resolved. I just want to be there for my children, whether that's, in poverty or in riches. I just want to be there for my babies. So that's about it for the update. I think it's really important that I do these periodic updates just so that, the truth can be documented somewhere. And as I said, if you guys could direct message me or email me, or even comment on one of—
I can't say it. I'm not supposed to make fun of people's appearance. And I feel like I kind of told the line too much. But that dress is not very flattering. I will say that.
my posts. If you have any sort of connection to social rights, activism groups, civil rights groups, I've done everything, you guys. I've emailed WGN, I've emailed ABC7, I've emailed NBC, Channel 5, I've emailed Fox News, I've emailed ABC, I already said ABC, I've emailed Channel 2 CBS, I've emailed CNN.
Maybe it's a sign if none of these people care about this story that it's just not, this isn't the way. That's not the way.
I've sent them all the proof that everything I say is true, and I've given them everything that I have, copies of everything. I paid a subscription service to get access to entertainment lawyers for all of the most famous entertainers, like Kim Kardashian, Khloe Kardashian, Joe Rogan. Who else? There's 30 of them that I emailed. Kevin Hart. Who are some of the big ones?
I have seen her be really nasty to other people as well, actually, but we gotta lead by example over here.
I'm trying to think. Whatever. Just I went on this website and they give you the top 500 most known celebrities and their entertainment lawyers, and you pay a subscription fee, and they give you the email address to those lawyers that those entertainers use. And I've emailed all of this to all of them, begging for assistance. It's just not right what's going on, and there's nothing I wouldn't do to be with my children, and I'm just being slandered and libeled, and the truth is being presented in so many ways. Literally I translated the truth to Spanish and literally started circulating it to Maluma and older bachata and reggaeton people Ozuna and J Balvin and just all these random people, just because if law enforcement, the local authority.
So I don't know who those people are. Are those famous Latinos that don't? You reach into these people in Spanish being The system is against me. Help me.
Authority, the state's attorney, the attorney general, the district attorney, if none of that is working and local celebrities aren't working, I don't know where else to go. And I can't just give up and like let my children suffer. My children need their mom. So my name is Heather Gillespie. Thank you so much. If you know me in real life, please advocate for me. You know me. If you know me, you know me. If you know, you know. You know, so if you would like to donate, you can do so via Cash App. Please don't just send money to whatever Cash App someone tells you I have. Go to my one and only story, either here on Facebook or on Instagram. The only Instagram that
No, I'm lucky to be with Megan. Megan she might be around. She was taking a nap because she had a long day. She might be here.
I have active right now, that I use for personal use, not for business. I have several that I use for business. The only one that's my actual personal blog is HG1V Law. And that's an acronym that starts with the first letters of my children's names. Viviana, Louis.
She's reaching out to Latin singers. Hey, help me get out of poverty? I mean, she's out of the streets.
Alexis Weston. HG1V Law. Is it HG1V Law or
She doesn't even know her own ad.
1HGV Law? Can you check?
Yeah.
I'll post it on my wall.
You should know your own name, Heather. Come on.
I'm just having a total brain fart right now. I don't know if it's HG1V Law or 1HGV Law. But anyways, you guys, I don't want to pressure anyone for money that you guys don't have or stress anyone's situation out. But if there's any way, if you have anything extra at the end of the day, $1 is even appreciated. I would be incredibly grateful. Literally, since this started in 2019, you guys and these donations have been the only way I'm even paying my phone bill. So I very much appreciate your assistance. And if you have employment, I would gladly accept it. I have a stellar resume.
Someone needs to give her a job.
Numerous letters of recommendation. And my experience, as I said, is in sales, healthcare, marketing, medical law and ethics, new business development, social media marketing and growth. I'm fantastic at social media strategy. So there's really nothing I can't do. Please give me an opportunity, put me to the test. Like, I will exceed your expectations every single time. You know, I don't understand why I'm in this position. And if I were someone, like, I'd probably be judging me too if I wasn't me actually living through it. But I am me and I am living through it. And it's crazy, you guys. I need help and I really need advocacy.
This is how you would get the job, but she's not gonna. Even if she got a job, she wouldn't keep it. This is all theatrics. And it's kind of annoying.
And I need support. So thank you guys so much for listening. And I hope you guys have a great day. And again, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it.
Anybody.
Okay. Holy jumping. So we still have, we're almost at the end. There's like 13 minutes of this, but then I've got to show you guys the Twitter. And then there's also like the YouTube shorts, but the YouTube shorts aren't that long either, but I need, I was going to be like, I might do another smoke break, like really quick, just really quick. Cause like, I can't sit for over an hour. It's crazy. It's crazy life here. Oh yeah. The Kool-Aid man. But yeah, give me like, again, 2 minutes, guys, tops. And then we can finish this up. See, Heather gave us like a lot. I don't want to like, there's not enough to split it into a stream tomorrow, or else I just do that. Like, but I need just a couple minutes here. I'll be right back. Here, we'll play this one for you. That'll be fancy. Sorry, I had to pee too. All right, yeah, I got back before the song was even done. Woo-wee. Fancy. Okie dokie. Let's finish this up here. So this is at 3 a.m. YouTube link.
Go to jointhebibleproject.com. You can download a full resolution version of this video, all kinds of other resources. It's there for free for you. Thanks for your support.
Gym membership, gym shoes, GoPro solo page. He's promoting on the 1HG Law. I don't remember her names either, but she should know her names. Got a Cash App the app.
Good morning, you guys. So I just got done with my morning pump. Xavier and I are getting ready for the day. I breastfeed today, not just pump, so that's exciting. And I have begun to get my period again. These are the Medela.
Why do we need to know that?
Bottles that I'm using, and I'm also using the wearable breast pump, or I just received it. But I got my period again, and Weston he'll be 16 weeks, 4 months on Monday, and I began to bleed for the first time last month at 3 months old. I didn't bleed when I was breastfeeding with my other 3 children.
No, I don't know what to say to this.
I read that on average, your period returns between 8 and 18 months if you're breastfeeding. I am every single day pumping or breastfeeding, and have since Weston's been born. Any other moms have this problem? So that I could see my son, and they have curated, or nature has curated.
Whoa. Nature has curated bugs attacking Heather on her way to see her kid. And this is the thing that I was calling the bee suit. This is apparently the birthing blanket. Someone was saying it was the birthing blanket before. Yeah, the bee suit. That's what I'm calling it.
It's some
We're
sort
gonna
of.
put that back though.
Any other moms have this problem?
Nature is curated.
So I could see my son, and they have curated, or nature has curated, some sort of millions of cicadas flying around.
Millions of cicadas. Just the way she was like looked at that shit. This took me out earlier.
We passed by this area. I'm going to try to show it to you if I can get to my phone in that space. That's only about, I would say, like from this wall here to about maybe here. So it's very enclosed. One side is all bushes and shrubbery where the cicadas live, and the other side is a fence. They fly at your head, at your face, at your body. They just bounce off. Yesterday, one flew in my ear and literally knocked my headphone out of my ear and onto the ground. We stepped.
What is that headphone too, by the way? That is a huge headphone. Huge. Like, look at these headphones. This is even a bulky. Wait, no, not the other one. This is the bulky one. But like, it's not as big.
On their bodies as we walk by. It is terrifying to me. I'm literally wearing a North Face turtleneck, putting this over my head, and then putting this over my head so that I can not have these bugs in my face and on my body. Not hear what I was saying yesterday. I still need breast pump bags and underwear and sanitary supplies and hygiene items. If you could please send the items sponsors, that would be great. As you know, you haven't sent anything since last month unless you're using my old Cash App. They did curate some drama as per the usual.
Yeah, we curated drama. Because that's what the trolls can do, or that's what the haters can do, is they go into Heather's life and make decisions for her. And then she just acts on them because she has no other choice.
This will be like the 10th Cash App. So please never send automatically. Always make sure that you're waiting for me to make the announcement that I need the money to be sent, and then give you the new Cash App cash tag. I don't know if these things are blind or deaf or both, or I don't know what the fuck. They fly directly into your body. They're all over the ground. Their body's all over the ground. Look at this area. Hold on. Here we've
I don't see them all over the ground, but this is the area she was talking about before.
got about, I would say, maybe.
And then we get to see Xavier. So this is like These are the shots of Xavier. Well, some of the shots. You can't really see him. He's too far out here. There's more, but this is the first shot of Xavier from this week.
Be 15 feet of space, but then up there, when you get there, there's maybe 4 feet, maybe.
What is this thing, by the way? Does anyone know?
And I'm being generous between the bushes and the fence, and that goes on for at least 2 football fields or a football field. It's terrible. It is so scary. They fly out of the bushes from every angle. They fly up from the ground. You can see their bodies all over the ground when you're walking over there. I hate it, you guys. And this is
Xavier looks lost too. He's like, I don't know what's happening. I thought we were walking this way. I'm just gonna walk in multiple directions.
the way I have to travel to see my newborn. So, and 3 times a week. I don't understand how in 2024 we haven't done something about these animals.
And notice this guy does not have a problem at all. He's just gonna ride right through it like there's nothing wrong.
No, animals should be by the millions flying into humans' faces, and I don't know. They terrify me. I'm absolutely terrified of these animals.
That's a lot of wind. Okay, I forgot to mention this earlier. If you're a member, if you got gifted a membership, you can join the Discord. But the Discord, I have to remake the link because I got raided today. So if you did try the Discord link before and it didn't work, it's gonna be fixed sometime tonight. I forgot to mention that earlier. Still, I don't know if anyone is listening to this part who got a membership, but you can join the Discord. I would try just tomorrow, or it's like sometime tonight. I'll have it fixed. I forgot. That just popped into my brain now. So walking through the cicada screaming, looking like a beekeeper. No, you do look like a beekeeper. You look like this is a bee suit. I didn't even see this part before this beekeeper comment.
So after we make
Yeah, no, it was and I was like, and I had to learn stuff. Good now though.
it through the tunnel of bugs flying into your ear holes, head, face, body, etc., we reach this space that has nearly no pavement without gravel. Even this has like little rocks everywhere. So when you're using soles of your shoes that are nearly worn out, it feels like you're walking on a bed of gravel. Then on top of that,
You have like 5 pairs of shoes. You'll be okay.
have right here next door some sort of recycling reclamation.
What do you have against the recycling plant? What kind of issues are these, Heather? It's the recycling plant's fault that there's cicadas everywhere.
I said, this is not Hillside. Hillside has the garbage place. This is new. Since I used to live out here and they never had this, but then you have this putrid foul odor.
She's gonna be like one of those old ladies that like they complain about everything and you don't even know why they're complaining about it. They could get something nice, like you could get like an extra side of jelly, and they'll be like, "Why are you giving me that? I don't want that. What does this mean? Does this mean the restaurant's about to go out of business? This would be, they'll just make a problem out of fucking anything." That's what Heather's gonna be like when she's older, because she's already like that now. Like, what are you complaining about a recycling thing for? She's saying that it smells bad. She'd rather a waste thing be there than a recycling thing. Is she gonna say that the recycling thing is fake? Like, what's her issue? Literally, what is her issue with this?
So all of this, it's like jumping over obstacle after obstacle to get to, a 2-hour visit with my baby.
I have no idea. I thought she was gonna give me a little more insight. Here is a cicada, though. These are what they look like. Let me make sure. Okay, now you guys can see. Yeah.
And they're like half alive, and then they just jump up out of nowhere and just whack you in the body or the face. Floor.
Oh, there's a cicada indoors, inside and upstairs. How? Like, you have to believe this is curated or engineered. Cicadas don't use the elevator. If you can. Cicadas don't use the elevators, guys. This has to be curated and or engineered, all right? There's no other explanation. If they can put this much effort into torturing us, imagine if it could just be focused on a little on making our experience better. That's such a, like, the world revolves around me fucking... aspect. There's a cicada inside upstairs. They must have known Heather was coming to the specific location, and they put the cicada there before she got there so she could be offended by it. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I've been using Cash App this time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I don't even know why I read that one. 7 minutes left. Whoa. It's crazy. It's some just craziness. God, please stop hurting us and make our way. Make it a workable way. Do you guys see the guitar thing over there? That came early. I'll be able to. There's like a little hook. You can see that? I was gonna put a camera on it. And then we got Heather Gillespie. Logically and practically, I know for a fact there is absolutely nothing I could have done more or less. Of that, I've outperformed 99% of my peers. There's no reason for what is happening right now. Praying, keeping faith, remaining consistent. What else? Shout out to my past self for putting in the work, getting to where I am now. This is like a Snoop Dogg quote. And to my future self, I'm working on ground and I got this. I got you. That's not Snoop Dogg. Or maybe it is. I don't know. To their mother's nest. And we got GoPro solo. And then God, please stop this cycle. Restore my life. Make a way for my children and I to be back together and quiet the noise from strangers and non-advocates.
Hi, you guys. So I just got done with my visit. I have my head wrapped because the cicadas literally flew into my ear. I freak out with insects and bugs, and they knocked off my ear pod, my Bose,
Why is her audio so bad in this one?
out of my ear and onto the floor.
It's the cicadas did it.
Okay, you guys, so I'm trying out the Peru, the wearable pump.
What is this?
So far, so good. I'm getting milk.
Oh, this is the wearable pump? Like she's wearing a breast pump right now?
Put some reviews up on YouTube. It has a lot of pieces and a lot of pieces to wash. It has a valve, a nipple flange, a diaphragm, and they're like silicone pieces. So you have to like pull them out and wash them. It's fantastic for like if you have to pump while you're on the go. Like if you're like I could literally walk down the street with a big hoodie on and be pumping.
And no one would know.
So it doesn't have to be plugged into the wall. And it's great to just have a backup pump. And since there are two of them, if anything happened with one, it's covered under a warranty. But if anything happened...
Welcome to the crazy world. Actually, it's not even that late. I used to, oh my God, back in the day. It was like, I don't know, half a year ago. I used to be up at like, I don't know, 2 a.m. watching shit like this. It feels like 2 a.m. now. I'm an old man. My sister earlier.
With one while I'm waiting for the new one, I still have one, so I could, do both breasts. So very grateful to have it. It's the Peru wearable breast pump.
Fire in 2000.
Okay, so this is this weird video she uploaded to her YouTube channel today. Like when I was gathering stuff for today, when I got it, I was around, I would say 1 or 2. It was uploaded 2 hours ago. I don't want to say around noon. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure this is from when they were living in the tent because she's not back in the tent now. But this is not like a good video. This is one of her more unhinged videos where she's arguing with a detective or an officer on the phone. She ends up like saying that he wants him to die. So I guess viewer discretion. This is for educational purposes and to disavow this kind of behavior. And something else. I was like, why would she post this? Like, if anything, this would hinder her case unless like she's trying to show, because at the end she's like, please God, give me the strength to not want people dead, which I don't know if that's like, was she told to get a video to show remorse? And she's like, I'll upload that. I have no idea. But this is that. And then I got the shorts and then I got the Twitter to show you guys.
2019 to 2020, police had to respond like 6 or 7 times during that time. And there was a white shirt on duty at that time, and I really need his help. I'm still dealing with the effects of the abuse that I was suffering during that time. That officer took me to Illinois Masonic for some of my wounds, I guess you could call it. And I really need to contact him. Is there a way that you could give me his email or his name or some way that I could speak with him? I don't know. It was the only white shirt. It was the only white shirt who responded. I just have a video.
Yeah, she didn't talk about the eyebrows at all.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Right. Would the hospital be able to tell me? Because he brought me there. So wouldn't his name be there? Yeah, well, no, because medical records, the law for my bachelor's degree is in medical law and ethics. And I know for a fact that the law for medical
Where did the ethics come in?
records, electronic medical records, are kept indefinitely. Anything written down on paper can only legally be discarded after, I think it's 10 years. At the least, it would be 8, definitely, depending on your state.
I think Heather's been put away for a couple of those, like at least a 48-hour like evaluation, and she's always like been just sane enough to get out, which is kind of unfortunate. I mean, like, I think she needs help, right? I think she should be getting the help that she needs somehow, but you can't force help on people. And Heather's one of those people who like thinks she has it all figured out, but she just barely not living in a tent now. So when James Soroka shaved his eyebrows, we were speculating that it was because he was dressing in drag so he could get sugar daddies. So he would like, do his like eyebrows, like with to make him look nice and pretty and stuff. That's what Arthur married. Maybe that's what Xavier's doing as well. Or he was upset by the Italian grandma thing. Or I'm thinking like, I thought we would have seen more of like Xavier close up. Maybe we will. And I just don't know if it. I'm thinking, what if it's a filter? What if the filter just made it look like you didn't have eyebrows? Because it is a weird thing to fucking do. Why would you shave off your eyebrows? What? Or what if it's like, well, no one's gonna hire me if I look crazy, so I'm just gonna look as crazy as possible, and I don't have to work.
But if I get his name, can I call you back?
I don't think there's any Italian grandma thing that upset Soroka. I don't even know why Soroka shaves his eyebrows and stuff. He does it in jail, and he did it one time when he wasn't even in jail. I think he was like, I don't like how bushy people tell me my eyebrows are bushy. Kind of like Bert and Ernie. I don't think Ernie has eyebrows, but Bert has like one big long eyebrow. That's why I think James shaved it.
An email? Well, no. So yeah, I'm incredibly intelligent and
No, she's not back in the tent. She just uploaded this to her YouTube channel for I don't know what reason. So I thought we'd watch and maybe we'll find out the reason. I haven't watched all of it all the way through, and I don't remember exactly. Like she's talking to a police officer right now, trying to get him to, I guess, investigate every little thing that can pop into her brain. And she's upset that the officer is, in her opinion, blowing her off. So she's like live streaming the call and trying to be like, look, he's blowing me off. But and then she wishes death upon him at the end. But I'm pretty sure, I'm like 100% positive that this is from the past.
I have multiple lawsuits against numerous people. He brought me to a place after I was human sex trafficked, beaten, left outside for several hours by my significant other in shorts during the winter, locked in a bedroom with a padlock on the outside of the room. Just a lot of really messed up stuff that was going on. And he's really one of the only witnesses to all of that was happening besides.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. Emily says she wants to show the DCFS that she tried to get help, but nobody helped her, and that's why she did this all performative bullshit. You think she would have picked one where she didn't want the person to die at the end of the That's why I was, or at least edit that part out. You didn't have to keep that in there, Heather.
He didn't. I have not been able to obtain.
Yeah.
No, sir. Nothing. And that's that. And I don't want to call it corruption because I don't want to implicate any of you guys as to doing something bogus, but it feels like corrupt. With reaching that gentleman who was there, who can testify on my behalf. That's a lie. That's a lie. So you're saying that in this 2024, where we have electronic medical records, electronic police reporting numbers, and electronic records of pretty much everything you do from taking a shit to purchasing a house, that there's no way for you to identify the officer who was there for less than 4 years ago. Okay, and I'd like you to please go on record as stating that. What was your name again, Officer what?
Officer Jordan.
From what district?
Listen, I'm trying to help you. If you need help right now, then we can send the officer out. If you feel like you need
from what?
Heather, he's offering to send an officer out to you, and you're like screaming, asking him what district he's from. Why does that matter?
What district? What district are you in, sir?
19.
And what was your name and badge number? And what was your name and badge number?
Jordan 4569. Okay.
Okay. I truly hope that you don't get any unwelcome visitors in the night. You have a.
Do you see what she did there? So she is refusing help for an officer to come out. She just wants this guy's information to, in her mind, blast out to her fan base, but she doesn't have. It's all these people like watching this train wreck. So one of them can go show up to his place in the middle of the night, or at least that was implied, because she's like, I hope that doesn't happen to you, because in her mind, they're blowing her off. And now she's going to say some even more fucked up shit. That's why I'm like, why the fuck, out of all the videos, if this is for the DCFS case, why would you pick this one? This is like one of the more unhinged ones.
Good night. Kill that motherfucker. All right. So you guys see what I'm dealing with? And this has been every single time.
Yeah, you're crazy. You're crazy, Heather.
That I have placed a call to any one of the responding offices after I am raped, beaten, robbed, left in the fucking street, sexually assaulted, dragged around. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, this is so unlawful. How the fuck do you get off?
I think inciting people to kill other people is probably unlawful too, but what do I know?
4 years after the initial occurrence, still treating me that way. Blatantly refusing me information that is supposed to be public knowledge. Anyone want to make it make sense? I swear to God, I hope God, please forgive me for saying that I hope that guy dies during the night. I really do feel that way in my heart, God, because he is a motherfucker. And there are lots of things he was saying subliminally that many of the other officers had been saying to try to turn me up or hurt my feelings or whatever. I really, God, want you to please put me in a space where I do not wish death upon or torture upon the people who have
torture now. Okay.
Have murdered or tortured me. I would like to be a bigger person than they are. And I would like to use my experience to help others without causing further detriment to myself, my family, my children, or my situation. This is one example, you guys, one example of thousands of calls that I have placed. They are all responding that way.
We're going to send you help, and then you're like, what is your information? So I can put it on live stream so I can hope that you die. It's crazy. Like, what are you thinking, Heather?
Best response I've gotten is just for the officer to sit there quietly and listen. And then they basically just say, well, we don't know how we can help you. And this is 4 years of this. And we are in the United States of America. Can someone please make this make sense, please? 36 weeks pregnant.
36 weeks pregnant. Good. Okay. I didn't catch that when I was prepping it. So yeah, she was 36 weeks pregnant in the tent. And that was this. Checking something fancy. Okay. You guys heard Heather's. Yeah. Yeah, everyone knows that. Everyone knows Heather's been murdered. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, so these are her shorts. Put them in a playlist and we'll fire through them. This is where we're gonna see Xavier with no eyebrows. Unless you delete the shorts. Hopefully not. I mean, probably not, right? And then Twitter, or private Twitter. Okay, so let's rock and roll through these. There's not much of these. Why are we taking a video of a phone? Look, Heather has two phones. Of her unboxing the breast pump while breast pumping. This is some meta shit.
So I'm pumping right now with my Medela pump in style. I'm going to continue the unboxing as soon as I'm done with this pump.
Yeah, why are we doing a phone of a phone? What is this?
But I can already tell you off the bat, it looks like the Peru wearable pump has a lot more pieces to clean.
Did she forget how to edit? Did she she forgot her own name? I think Heather's like on some bad drugs right now. What is
pieces to assemble? Just a lot more pieces. The Medela pump in style, as you guys know, has the valve, the pump,
send me more,
and then the bottles.
I will grab them.
And I just hook it into my bra to make it like wearable, but I could never wear it outside. The Peru pump is supposed to be so wearable that you could literally throw on a larger hoodie or shirt and wear it while you're walking outside.
This is something from 2019. She's like, this is what I'm talking about from 2019. I don't know what's in it. Something about an ear. It's weird and it's scary. And let's see what she's talking about.
This is what I've been telling you guys about. Today is the June 7th of 2024. I've been reporting on this since 2019. These are hearing aids, okay? They have two-way devices of communication that are smaller than this, that they have used repeatedly without people's permission or knowledge.
What are you talking about? They're putting hearing aids in people's ears without their permission or knowledge. God forbid. I mean, I don't think this is happening, but let's just say for the sake of the argument, this is happening. God forbid they let people hear. You really think they're putting in high sophisticated, what am I trying to say here? Advanced technology in your ear for free when you can't even get like free dental or eye care, even in Canada, right? Like, but they're gonna just put like this advanced hearing aid technology in your ear that like they don't tell you about. Okay.
This is not a conspiracy. This is a
conspiracy.
Fact that's being talked about on WGN News.
We are looking into 300 people. We are looking for 300 people in Illinois to test new hearing aids. That is what the headline is. Heather makes up her own conspiracies. I mean, like, she always has kind of done that with like the they stuff, but like she's taking like a news article, like we want like people. This isn't even invented yet. Well, it is, but like it's not out on the market. We need people to test them, and this kind of goes against. Heather was mad about humans being tested for things. Heather, you can make money by trying these hearing aids. You should go do it.
Okay, so this is my current breast pump, the Medela pump in style. This is what the pump actually looks like. And you hook the valve.
Yeah, it's an advertisement. It's not a headline.
Up here, and then you use these two bottles to kind of collect the milk. And then this is my backup pump, the wearable Peru. And I'm about to open this now and then do a comparison.
It's just like, how did she jump to that conclusion? She seemed like we want people to test these out. We want 300 people to test these out. Like there's 300 slots. You could probably make some money. And she's like, they've been putting these things in people's ears for years without their consent or knowledge. WGBG is talking about it. What are you? No wonder they don't want to take your story on or talk to you. You're reaching out to them about your stuff. They're like, Is this the same lady that said that we were fucking covering people putting in hearing aids without their consent?
So this is how they look. Definitely not discreet. But you could wear it when you're driving, I suppose. I have mine all the way to setting 8. The Medela usually would have created like, pardon my hair, usually would have created like, I don't know, probably an ounce by now. So we're going to see the suction doesn't hurt. You can hear it. So it's not silent. It's not as quiet as I thought it was going to be. But it's not bad. And it's definitely something good to have if you're commuting or moving around or, driving, or you can't get to an AC adapter and it stays charged for 2 hours. So I'm gonna see how much milk I can get. Usually I pump.
This is weird. Like, does she think they're gonna sponsor her or something? But when you worked at public defender's office, he had one guy with serious mental health, and he said that he had microwaves that were implanted in his body brain without consent, and the government was controlling him. I can't remember why, but one night I was looking at what happens when you microwave a microwave. And apparently, well, Google says nothing. This it cancels each other out. Like, you can't. But I think the microwave would just melt, like every other thing you put in the microwave, or they both explode. But I don't know. I guess, like, I wonder if anyone's ever done that.
Between like 5 and 6 ounces every 3 to 4 hours.
Did you guys see that face she made? Hold on. What was that about? Wait.
Like 5 and 6 ounces every 3 to 4 hours.
We can zoom in on the look. Why, Heather? Why this face? Okay. It got weirder. It's just being weird.
So that's how it sounds. So as promised, we're reviewing the Peru wearable with the Medela pump and style. And I finally took the Peru out and washed it in really hot water and charged it up. And this is the pump. You do a long press to turn it on, increase and decrease suction with the up and down buttons right here. And then this is the collection container. So it's like,
I wasn't expecting like a fucking review of all the breast pumps on her YouTube channel. I thought it was going to be more like what her Instagram is like. I'm being suppressed in life. Oppressed is the word I'm looking for, not suppressed.
Slides in like this.
Suppressed.
You have this part, the flange that goes over your nipple. You have this part, the valve that slides into the collection container, and then this, which also goes on this side of the collection container. So there are a lot more parts. And then this, they call a diaphragm, and it goes into this piece.
Is there actually a bunch of videos on YouTube doing it? Are they cool? Will they copyright strike me? I thought I tried looking it up before and didn't find anything. I will look it up.
So there are a lot more parts to wash, but it's wearable. You can wear it while you're driving. You can wear it while you're pretty much doing anything. They give you some bra extenders and a one charger for each. Shelf life, battery life is 2 hours. Since I'm not panicking, I am panicking. I'm panicking 24/7.
There's Xavier in the background. Let's get a good shot of him.
Are you kidding me? My normal life is living in my own home with my children and driving my own vehicle. And in the last 4 years, I've been sexually assaulted, beaten, robbed.
He's got his hair up like Marge Simpson.
Robbed, left in a tent, locked in a tent,
robbed,
beaten up by a man, robbed.
Oh, come on.
Again, sexually assaulted.
Give me something to work with here. Oh, can we go back frame by frames? Frame by frame. Frame by frame. There's Xavier. That's the best shot I got of him so far. There's better ones. Don't worry. Just not in this video.
Robbed again, sexually assaulted again, impregnated.
Jared and Lucan, thank you for the $5 super chat or super sticker. I like your avatar, the Rick and Morty. Let me see. I gotta pop up another one to see what this is here. No message, but thank you. Maybe it's just an A. I appreciate you.
Lost a twin pregnancy, had a baby. Like, are
you
kidding me? Yeah, I'm fucking panicking. I'm always panicking. I'm looking for law enforcement and the authority to do their job. I'm looking for my friends and family and peer groups to do their jobs.
I'm looking for advocates to do their jobs. Yeah, I'm panicking. I'm always panicking. But I also have to live. You know, I have 4 children. There is nothing.
Ooh, so this is Xavier without eyebrows. Is he scary? Look, no, they're gone. They're gone. Now, is this a filter though? Like, he looks so scary. And I wish she didn't put this here because I really want to. Oh my. Oh me, oh my. Let's try to get. Ooh, Xavier, no. Xavier, no. What happened to you? He used to be suave. Like, he used to have, like, that beard. He was a little rough around the edges, but you're like, you maybe can make things work. Oh, no. He looks like a... I don't know. What happened? What happened? That's not the Xavier. It's not my Xavier. Not my president. Not my Xavier. And then... Oh, ooh-wee. Sorry. But this is pretty much the best shots we're gonna get. The way he's not behind these like letters or anything. Here, I'll put it back a bit because we didn't get to see what she was saying.
There is nothing that I want more than to feed my son. You guys know Weston is still a baby, 3 months old. He'll be 4 months in a week from this Monday. 15 weeks this Monday. But I also really want to go to the gym. So I have to be
That's how it cuts. I mean, like, this is on YouTube itself, so that's how it cuts. But that's Xavier's crazy no eyebrows face. Who the fuck is Uncle Adams? Isn't that crazy? Now, I'm gonna have to like pop these open. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can actually put them all in one thing here. I might be able to on this other window. If not, I'll keep this open. We're going to try something we've never tried before. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to see if this is going to work? We'll pop this open, and then we'll grab this guy, and then we'll go. I'm missing something. Hold on. Is this it? Hold up. Okay, yeah, that is it. All right. I know that'll work, but let me just see if this will work first. I think so. No media detected. No, that's not going to work. But that's okay because we can do it another way. So I'm going to have to flip through. Well, the first thing I'll show you actually while we're on here is there's a video from Twitter. So let me get that pulled up and we'll watch this first. So I wore these pants on Monday and they're literally burned blisters on my thighs. I mean, like, where are you walking around like that? I don't know. This is curated. This is curated crazy stuff, guys. So I don't know if there's any audio to this. And then she shows, like, I guess, a scab or something. That's something. That's something. And then, I don't know why she has, like, it's like her pants are all the way up. That's crazy. So then that's back around here. So let me go to this other tab where I can pull pictures up and we can actually like read the tweeters. Here we are. I'm gonna have to pull them over like one by one, but that is okay. I'm gonna make sure they're in the right order here. I mean, I think I can. Yeah, give me 1 second while I pop them all over. Whoa, I move one by one. So while I'm doing this, I'll tell you guys a story about. I don't know what I'm going to tell you guys a story. Do I have any stories for you? King Cobra didn't lose his YouTube channel. He just needs a new phone, and he'll be able to sign back into it. So that's good news. And then he was angry at Jessica for calling him too much. That's the only story I got for you. But we're good to go now. Let's get right into the news. All right, let me close some stuff here. So this is Heather Gillespie's private whatchamacallit, what would you call this? A Twitter. I was gonna say Instagram, but no, we already watched Instagram. So Heather goes through. Well, I got through the first pages of the books, and I felt completely overwhelmed with exhaustion. And spent the rest of the evening like this. The book she's writing, is she writing the novel? I really hope so. Super excited to start learning ChatGPT. Okay, so we did read that before. That's kind of the thing that she shared before. This one, let's see here. She's posting like her resume and her experience, her kids. Let's see what this is. The one, Heather Gillespie, one, Heather G. Airbnb reviews from 2020 to 2022. Airbnb, so she's just posting her Airbnb reviews. Same thing she does like on her Instagram. Kisses from Weston, the only good thing to happen in my life since 2020. Weightlifting has always been my favorite way to stay in shape. I've never felt better than when I was lifting. When I'm done breastfeeding, I plan to return to lifting weights. Then we got, is the system fair or predatory? Have you ever heard someone say, wow, the system really helped me? Yeah, I've seen lots of people say that actually. Are there any systemic successes? I just want to go home. The tent was your home. Or Dylan's apartment. Earning money on their own solutions must be created for them. If you're against human trafficking, that, oh yeah, well, she did put that on her Instagram post. So she's pigeonholing people into getting behind her cause, or else you're in support of human trafficking and stuff. That's a neat little tactic there, to guilt people into giving you money. More stuff about the kids. The truth is, if you have tuned in, I think, let's see here. I think this is actually the blown up versions of this. So let's use an example of the man attempting to purchase toilet paper and 2 Easter dolls on his daughters, for his daughters at Walgreens. What the hell is he talking about? Now, if you're not tuned in, I discussed this on a live on my YouTube channel. We've definitely watched that. It was crazy. A man put some toilet paper and 2 Easter dolls in a plastic Walgreens bag at the pharmacy after picking up his prescriptions. At the door, when he tried to leave, security stopped him and tells him they're going to call the police because he did not pay for the toilet paper or the 2 Easter dolls. I didn't have extra money this day, or I would have made the purchase for him. What would you say the same? In the live, I asked people to examine the situation. What the fuck? I would guess about half the people that exist in the normal functioning society would agree that every person deserves to have money to buy toilet paper and Easter dolls for their children. The other half would say that it's not their problem and the person get a job and stop being lazy. The underground, as I refer to it, are people who aren't acknowledged by society, but they can't vote or are shunned for political reasons. Might likely look at a man and say he's a bum. They might encourage him and encourage him to commit illegal acts of violence, robbery, or bust other moves / finesses. You got to bust a move, son, in an effort to be able to afford those items. I think we need to be more focused on making the first group heard louder, presenting solutions to poverty without placing blame, because 9 out of 10 times the ones who don't want solutions are privileged enough and to truly not to understand who is blank. we come back here. If you know, you know. There's like a YouTube link. She did universal basic incomes and the evolution of digital currency have never been more needed. Then we got, she's retweeting Grant Cardone. Don't know who that guy is, but I've heard her reference him a few times. And then there's a little bit of a back and forth about the blisters on her thighs. That's a sign to size up. That's not a burn or blisters. It's called chafing or chub rub. Heather Gillespie says it's not chafing, nor is it chub rub. It's a blister, a fluid-filled sac caused by the torn edges of the fabric. But thank you for your ignorance on my page. Then they say it's not from your torn, raggedy clothes. Damn, where do you come up with that? Welcome to the world of fat people problems. That's what one user says. Heather says that this is 2024, where no one should fat and no one should have problems. No one should fat. No one should fat, guys. Is this a parody of Dusty? No one should have. No one should be far or have problems in 2014. In 2024. Tell us you're so insulated in your own crazy world without telling us. And that is that. This has been a journey, guys. We made it far and wide. I didn't think we'd get to the end, but we did. This has been like one of the longest Heather streams I've done in a while. But I appreciate you guys all for showing up. I will see you guys next week for Heather. What do we have? I don't know what I have planned for tomorrow. Something fancy. I'm halfway through my vacation, so I gotta like get some stuff done. We got the thing on the guitar now. Because Megan got me that. So we'll do some guitar stuff. I don't know. Did someone say chub rub? Yeah, someone on Twitter said it's chub rub. It's not it's chafing. It's not anything else. It's not curated. They are not targeting her pants. God forbid. Anyways, I hope you guys all have a great night. Thank you, everyone who donated. Thank you, Ryan, Lexi, VC Wants a Pony, Callie Wolf, and Jared and Lucan. I appreciate you guys. And I will fix the Discord link for the members before tomorrow. Have a great night, guys. And toodles, I don't want to say. Bye, guys.